And good evening and welcome to a special Thursday night edition of the Game of the Week on the Friday Night Network. Tonight coming to you from Munford Stadium on the campus of Munford High School here in North Talladega County, as the playoff-bound Munford Lions will wrap up their regular season this evening, hosting the Tigers of Talladega High School. Got one team in Munford that is playoff-bound. We've got a team in Talladega that is, well, not playoff bound, but still, Cody, we've got two teams here tonight that are just, 10 miles apart. So it's one of those games where everybody knows everybody.
It's a rivalry game, Jeff. You're exactly right. You got a team that's playoff bound. You got to start thinking about the postseason. If you're Munford, if you're Talladega, you want to win this game. This is a bragging rights kind of game for you here. You get this win. It would be a huge win, especially how this season has gone for Coach Herring and the Tigers. So just look for Talladega to come out here and try to put up a fight against a very talented Munford Lions team.
Crowd continuing to file in here this evening. And again, Munford under first-year head coach Bill Smith. They've had quite a year, Cody. I know they had a big win over Leeds early in the year, and that just really kind of gave these guys a lot of momentum. And, of course, next week they will go into postseason play as the number 2 seed in the region, and they will host here at Munford Stadium. But I know another worry when you get to this 10th game, when you've got a team that's headed to the playoffs, is you want everybody to stay healthy.
You want guys to stay healthy, but at the same time, I've talked to coaches before, and they've said that this is one of those games you try to play a quality opponent at the end of the year, and you want your guys to continue to play well. You want to see some of these guys continue to get better. You've got the first round of the playoffs coming up. No matter who you've got, anything can happen in the playoffs. So you don't really want to take Week 10 off. You've got some guys that need to work on things. You might want to install some new things in Week 10 to get ready for the playoffs. So there's a lot of things you can use Week 10 for, and I know it's mainly a coach's opinion, but just look for Munford to try to work on a few things heading into the postseason.
A week ago on the Friday Night Network, we witnessed a big upset at Lot Mosby Stadium, Memorial Stadium. The Anniston Bulldogs defeated at the time, they were undefeated, the Alexandria Valley Cubs, and they jumped on them early, Cody.
You're right, and there we see opening play. Quinn Smith takes it to the house. We found this out at the end of the game. Coach Bullock told us that Quinn Smith has not played quarterback all year. First time he had played quarterback was last week, and he did a great job managing this offense. Explosive plays is what won this game. Explosive plays on offense. The defense set this Anniston Bulldogs team up in great positions all night. Their defense impressed me very much last week.
Yeah, they certainly did, and Alexandria, again, suffering their first loss of the year in that game. And again, Anniston and the speed, and you see it right there. I mean, it played a big part in the game. And, the defense, I thought also, after all, they pitched a shutout.
And you look at their numbers, I know stats don't always tell the complete picture, but you look at what they've done so far this year on defense. They were only giving up a little over 15 points per game. Their offense just had some issues. And it looks as though going into the playoffs, depending on how Coach Bullock sees things, Quinn Smith seems to be the type of guy that gave their offense a spark. He was able to keep Alexandria's defense honest, and that opened up the passing game as well as the multiple running backs they had. So you got some bright spots there as you move into the playoffs.
Going into that game, it was a must-win for Anniston to have any chance or any hopes of playing or making their way into the playoffs, and they won it. And yeah, they'll be playing next week in round 1 in the 5A classification. Back here at Munford Stadium, it's the Lions hosting the Talladega Tigers, and we'll be back with more of our pregame. Stay with us on the Friday Night Network.
They don't. It's not true. You cannot be in business and sell your product and not make any profit and stay in business. For that matter, if you did that, how could you take care of your customers in the long run if you never made any profit? We make profit, but the difference is we're fair with our customers. We don't mislead them, we don't misguide them. So come on down to the sunny side of the street and ask for me, Shane Denny. It's where a handshake still matters.
Every day's a great day to stop in a Samco Express Mart. You'll find plenty of snacks to choose from, and Samco has all your favorite drink brands, all nice and cold. You'll find those last-minute light grocery items you need, and a great variety of grab-and-go brands that's sure to cure any case of the munchies. There's lots of candy, mints, and gum, too. Make sure you fuel up before or after the game. With over 30 locations in the area, there's always one close by. Samco Express Mart.
At Farmers, we make you smarter about insurance because what you don't know can hurt you. What if you didn't know that it's smart to replace washing machine hoses every 5 years? What if you didn't know that you might need extra coverage for more expensive items? And what if you didn't know that teen drivers are 4 times more likely to get into an accident? So, the more you know, the better you can plan for what's ahead. Talk to Farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Now what?
Let's go. That way.
Have fun out there on the compact, capable, and entirely new Pioneer 500 from Honda.
Visit Cycle World in Gadsden today or online at cycleworldonline.com.
Since 1848, our bank has witnessed inventions that have changed the world. Conveniences such as the refrigerator, the light bulb, and the airplane were all created during the early days of our bank. VHS tapes, DVDs, smartphones, all invented while we were First National Bank of Talladega. Our name may have changed, but we have a rich history. First Bank of Alabama. We're still first, and so are you.
It's Thursday Night Football on the Friday Night Network. Jeff Ellison alongside Cody Spoon down on the field. Caroline Saunders will be joining us throughout the evening with updates from down there where the big guys play. Talladega and Munford here this evening. Yes, it's a Thursday night, but still a lot of big games in the area, not only tonight, but tomorrow night as well. And we'll take a look at some of those games right now, and we will begin with, you see it right there, Cherokee County at Alexandria. And Cody, the Valley Cubs will be looking to bounce back in that one.
This game very important for Alexandria, in my opinion. Coach Frank Tucker trying to get those Valley Cubs back on track after last week losing to Anniston, and that doesn't take anything away from Anniston. Cherokee County, I had the opportunity to watch this team early in the season. They're a very talented team. They're very young. This Cherokee County unit is a group that's here in a couple of years. They're going to be a very good football team. Coach Curry trying to take them over to the Valley Cubs and get an upset here tonight.
And you see last year it was a 53-21 win for Alexandria, and they do lead that series over Cherokee County. Moving on, Fayetteville. How about the Wolves taking on Winterboro tonight? Fayetteville not only playoff bound, but they region champions for the first time in school history.
Huge win 2 weeks ago over Pickens County, or last week over Pickens County. That was huge for their program, their first ever region title, as you alluded to, Jeff. Tonight could be big at Winterboro. Coach Allen Beckett and Winterboro could get a big win tonight over Fayetteville. It's going to be a tough-fought battle, but that should be a good football game tomorrow night.
Yeah, that game will be played at Bulldog Stadium tomorrow evening. And there's Anniston coming off their big win a week ago, and they'll be back at Lot Mosby Stadium this evening. Be taking, not this evening, but tomorrow night, I think it is. Why do I keep thinking it's Friday? It's Thursday. Fort Payne, the opponent, the Wildcats, coming in to take on the Bulldogs.
And you see there, Fort Payne destroyed south side of Gadsden last week, 38-14. Very talented Fort Payne team. If you're Anniston, you have a lot of positives coming off of last week versus the Valley Cubs. So just take that into the game tonight. And honestly, after the way we saw them perform last week, they could pull the upset tonight in Anniston.
Yes, they certainly can. Raglan at Ohatchee. Now, this kind of similar to the game we have here this evening. Two teams that are not that far apart. I mean, Raglan and Ohatchee is just almost a stone's throw. And, you know, they haven't played often, but they'll get things kicked off here this week. That game will be on the Creek Bank.
Two teams that definitely don't like each other, Jeff. You see Ohatchee dominating this series, but expect Raglan to come in there and give Ohatchee all it can. And Raglan, that's a pretty good football team.
Yes, they certainly are. And there's two more good football teams that will be in the playoffs come next week, and they're playing tonight up at the Field of Champions. And I know you're familiar with that game, Cody, as the Bulldogs host the Redskins of Aniana.
Coach Steve Smith, he's one of those guys, kind of one of the coaches that I've talked to that likes to schedule quality opponents late in the year. It's easy to just run right over a team and go into the playoffs. He likes to be challenged late in the year. He wants his guys to stay sharp going into the playoffs. And so that's going to be a great game at the Field of Champions tomorrow night. Look for a great battle. That's going to be a really good ball game in this area to go watch tomorrow night.
And Glencoe at Cleburne County, that game at L.E. Bell Field tomorrow night. And again, that's two teams that, well, they're headed to postseason play as well. They played a close one last year up at Glencoe and expect more of the same in this one.
Well, you know, if you're looking for the two best games, you know, Piedmont, Aniana big, but Cleburne County and Glencoe, that's a huge game. You know, you got Cleburne County. They just come off a region win, or region title, excuse me. Glencoe coming in second place in Region 6 in Class 3A. You know Glencoe wants to get that win at Cleburne County, and even more so, Cleburne County wants to get revenge for last year and try to beat the Yellow Jackets.
And moving right along, and Oxford at Decatur. Now, I believe this is a Thursday night game. They're playing this evening, just like we are. And, well, there are, I understand, still some playoff hopes for Oxford, but still, to have any hopes at all, they've got to travel up to Decatur this evening and walk away with a victory.
You see, Decatur won this game last year, 17-14. Both of these teams 3-6 so far this year. And Oxford has a lot of things that need to fall in place in order for them to make the postseason. It's going to be very difficult for the Yellow Jackets and Coach Herring to make postseason play.
And the playoffs, of course, round one will begin next week. And a lot of teams in our area in this region will be participants in round one of postseason play. You see Alexandria, they'll be at home at Lucedale Stadium taking on Lawrence County. Anniston, they'll be on the road to Russellville. Central Clay County, well, they've got a long trip, don't they? They'll travel down south. No, check that. They will host Viger. I'm sorry. Central Clay County will be at home. That will be at Volunteer Stadium. Chelsea will, well, they're in the postseason, but who they play, don't know yet. It will be either Blunt or Saraland. Moving right along, let's see, Cherokee County, Cleburne County will be hosting Wilson and Cody. I mean, you can pick it up from there, but a lot of teams. This shows the quality of football in this area.
And if you look down through there, Jeff, one of the things you see a lot of hosts that lets you know kind of where these teams stand as far as in our area. A lot of quality football teams. You know, a couple of teams to note there. I know it's down at the bottom, but Wadley, that's a team I think is going to make some noise in Class 1A once they get into the postseason. I know a lot of people feel that Maplesville is the standard in 1A, trying to get a repeat as state champions, but look for Wadley to make some noise. They host Valley Head in the first round of the playoffs out of Class 1A Region 5. Piedmont, another team, they moved up in the polls. Pike County lost last week, so Piedmont's moved up. And there you see Oxford. They don't know yet. They got a lot of things that could fall into place, and if they do get in, they're going to have to face a very talented Spanish Fort team on the road in the first round. And so that's one of the tough games. One of the tough things about getting a 4 seed. More than likely, you're going to travel to one of the best teams throughout the state of Alabama. And
Munford, our team that we'll have for you tonight, you see they will be here at Munford Stadium next Friday night as well, and will be hosting W.S. Neal. And may not be familiar with that school. They're located in Bruton, Alabama, down south portion of the state, and that will be the Lions' opponent next week. And that gets us to our game here this evening, Talladega at Munford. And as we've already told you, that Munford will be in action next week, while Talladega will be getting ready for basketball. 2-6 on the year, 6-3 for Munford. And, you know, it is a mismatch, but, you know, we thought we had a mismatch last week, and that didn't turn out to be the case.
Didn't turn out to be the case at all. You know, that's one of those games when you go into it, we all talked about it. If you'd have thought that Anniston would shut out Alexandria and get the upset in order to get a playoff berth, that would have been a far stretch, you know. So anything can happen tonight. We've seen some crazy things so far this season, so look for Talladega to come out in this game. They have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Throw out everything you can to try to win this ball game. If you're Munford, keep doing what you've done all year. Stay focused. You've got to get into the play, or you're already in the playoffs next week, so just stay focused and try to get out of here with a W.
It's Talladega and Munford, the final game of the regular season.
This FNN High School Football Sports Exclusive is presented by Sonny King Ford. Here yesterday, here tomorrow on Quintard Avenue in Anniston, where a handshake still matters. And by Samco Express Marts. With over 30 locations in the area, there's always one close by. Tonight's game is sponsored by Calhoun Insurance. For all your auto, home, business, or life insurance needs, visit us in Jacksonville, Anniston, or Gadsden. By Cycle World Power Sports on Megan Boulevard in Gadsden. At Cycle World, we sell fun. By First Bank of Alabama. Our name may have changed, but we have a rich history. At First Bank of Alabama, we're still first, and so are you. By Food Outlet, with locations in Alexandria, Anniston, Bynum, and Pell City. At Food Outlet, you always get great service and low prices. It's how we do business. And by Avery Auto Sales on Highway 78 in Oxford, and now open with a second great location on Quintard Avenue in Anniston. Tonight's Game of the Week is brought to you by Anniston EMS, Wesley's Paint and Body, Cotton State Barns, K.L. Brown Memory Chapel, Glencoe Jewelry Sales, Cable One, and Big Daddy's Barbecue on Highway 21 is where Munford comes to eat. You'll always find delicious home cooking daily with fast, friendly service. Big Daddy's offers plates or sandwiches with all your favorite sides to choose from, specializing in wings, burgers, chicken, ribs, and barbecue. Open early, open late, 6 days a week. Come in with family or friends or call ahead and take it home. 256-358-9005. Big Daddy's Barbecue, proud supporters of the Munford Lions.
Have you got the new car itch but don't want to take the plunge with a brand new car? How about getting the most car for the money at Avery Auto Sales? They have a large selection of cars with even some 2014s in the mix. And if you're worried about your credit, don't. They can help get you back on your credit feet with guaranteed approval. Check them out online at AveryAutoSales.net. Then when you see something you like, call them at 256-835-8897 for a test drive. Or just go by. Avery Auto Sales is located on Highway 78 East between Highway 78 and Snow Street in Oxford. That's Avery Auto Sales.
Need a place to keep your tools?
Or a place to get away from the wife. Whatever your needs are, we got a barn or a carport for you.
With rent-to-own options and no credit checks, we can help you take home the right barn or carport today.
And with 4 different locations, we're just a short drive away.
So come see us in Glencoe, Moody, Asheville, or Attala, and let our family help your family get the barn or carport you deserve.
Don't miss the 3rd annual Niwala on Noble, starting at 10 a.m. on Saturday, October 31st in downtown Anniston. Bring the whole family for lots of fun, including carnival games and a kids zone, local arts and crafts, train rides, a costume contest at 2:30, and so much more. You don't want to miss the double elimination cornhole contest starting at 11 with cash prizes. There will be live music, demonstrations, and a beer garden. Come join in on all the fun. Admission is free. Niwala on Noble, another fun, safe downtown event for the entire family from Main Street, Anniston.
At Food Outlet, our lineup starts with the freshest produce in town.
When you shop with us, you score every day with the freshest meat and the best selection.
Pre-game, halftime, even after the game, we have all the snacks and soft drinks that you need.
We're your hometown team.
And you'll always score a touchdown at Food Outlet, where great service at low prices is how we do business.
Food Outlet, with locations in Alexandria, Anniston, Bynum, and Pell City. Go to shopfoodoutlet.com for weekly specials. And remember to like us on Facebook.
Was the day before 2 days before Halloween, and they're playing high school football here at Munford Stadium this evening. 2-6 Talladega, 6-3 Munford here this evening. Cody, you got your Halloween costume bought yet?
I do indeed. I'm going to an 80s party on Saturday night, so I'm breaking out a mullet on Saturday night.
I was an old man even in the 80s. All right. Top 10, all 7 classifications. This is the final week of the regular season, and of course the final top 10 rankings of the regular season that we will take a look at. And as always, well, we're going to start there. All right, we'll start in Class 3A. Kind of jumping around here for you. Well, we'll go. Okay, there we go. Back to 7A. Bob Jones still leading the pack there. Spain Park. They're at number 2. Moving on to 6A, Clay Chalkville, Spanish Fort, and Opelika. 5A, Jackson leading the pack as always. You see Beauregard in there. 4A, UMS Wright. We'll move right on through here and move to 3A. Madison Academy in Gordo. 2A, and you will see the top 10 rankings. There's Elba on top. Of course, there Ranburne coming into number 10. And 1A, again, will be the smallest classification. And there you see Maplesville, the top 10 this week, according to the Alabama Sports Writers Association. One quick break, and we'll be back with more on the Friday Night Network.
In this moment, it doesn't matter if you save money in 15 minutes or if your neighbor has the same insurance that you do. What matters right now is the quality of your independent insurance agent and the company that stands behind them. Auto Owners Insurance.
Parnell Insurance in Oxford is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
Your love will bloom with the Romance Bridal Collection. Each ring is a mirror to the natural splendor of sparkling diamonds with exquisitely crafted 18-karat gold designs. Every romance piece is exceptional in both quality and style and comes with a lifetime guarantee that assures its everlasting beauty. Come see Phyllis and the team at Glencoe Jewelry Sales for the Romance Bridal Collection and all of your jewelry needs.
Live tonight from Lions Stadium here in Munford, Alabama. It's the game of the week on the Friday Night Network. I'm Jeff Ellison. To my right is Cody Spoon. Again, Caroline Saunders down on the field and will be throughout the evening. Again, we've got 2 teams here tonight. We talk about a mismatch. And, you talk about Munford, really, Cody. They could very easily be region champions this year. They lost 2 region games by a total of 3 points. I mean, that's very close.
A very good region that Munford is in as well in Class 4A Region 3. Kind of a tell-all in this game to me. If you just look at it on paper, Munford is averaging 38.8 points per game on offense, and they're allowing 28.8 points on defense. As Talladega, they're only putting up 15 points per game and allowing about 35 points per game. So tonight, that's one thing when you got an offense going against a defense like that, and you have an offense that's as stagnant as Talladega's, it's going to be could potentially be a tough night for the Talladega Tigers.
Yeah, of course, Munford coming in with wins over Cleburne County, which was a big win now as you look back on the season, and none any bigger than their victory over the Green Wave of Leeds. Defeated Lincoln, Dadeville, Childersburg, and Holtville a week ago, and their only losses again to Central, Clay County, Elmore County, and Hanley. And that's the 6-3 mark for Munford. Talladega, there are 2 victories this year. They started out the season with a win over TC Central and also defeated Marbury. But losses, the 6 they dropped were to Tallahassee, Beauregard, Springville, a close one there. They lost by just 1 to Springville. Sylacauga, Shelby County, a game they led in the second half, but Shelby County and the Wildcats came back and won that game. And Clay Central, and again, the Tigers participating out of Class 5A Region 3, and their season will end here this evening at Munford. When you talk about personnel, we will see 2 fine quarterbacks here this evening. Also from Munford, it's Avery Harris, already 19 touchdown passes on the year, and he's rushed for 14 touchdowns as well. And really what some people think may be an up-and-coming star for Talladega, and that's their quarterback. He's just a sophomore, and that's Ashton Duncan. He stepped in as the signal caller for Coach Robert Herring's troops this year, and he's played quite well, both running the football and through the air.
I mean, if you've got a young guy like that, that's your opportunity to develop someone. You get them game experience early in their career, and it may be one of those situations where you've had to force them into, your team is forced into giving them playing time early. But that's a good opportunity to develop this kid and allow him to grow in this offense as Duncan will only get better. You would assume would only get better as he gets a little older. Kind of going into the final week of high school football before the postseason, Jeff, a lot of people think this is just a week to kind of rest, maybe just a week to get right before you get into the postseason. But if you look at the playoff picture right now, 7 regions have yet to be decided, 1 through 4. I mean, you've got some of the regions that have their first, second place. Some of them have first, second, and third, but they don't have their fourth place team yet. This is a very important week for a lot of these regions, and expect a good week of high school football. And we've seen that over the past few weeks.
Yeah, and people put a lot of emphasis on being the 1 or 2 seed because you get to play at home, but you just want to get in. I mean, how many times have we seen a 4 beat a 1, a 3 beat a 2? I mean, you just want to be one of those 4 that does make it and have an opportunity to play in an 11th game.
A lot of people put it's the stock into the 1 and 2, and that is important. But I agree with you, Jeff. It says a lot about your program if you can be one of the top 4 teams in your region, and it gives you a lot of positives to give to your team. To allow them to build off of.
The captains are making their way to midfield for the coin toss. The referee tonight, the man in the white hat, is Jimmy Buckaloo, and we'll go to the field right now and join Jimmy Buckaloo for the coin toss.
Seems as though we might be having some.
All right, again, the captains you see there at midfield, and the toss apparently is won well. We'll just let Jimmy sort it out here, and then we'll be ready to play some football here from Munford, Alabama. And there you see that the Tigers will receive to get this football game underway. 2 teams that are close in proximity, and they are about ready to do battle here this evening, our game of the week on the Friday Night Network. The opening kickoff is headed your way right here on FNN.
In a world that's ever-changing, you have to be sure that your choices are the right choices. At Central Alabama Community College, you'll know you made the best choice. We understand that you need the best educational opportunities. Whether choosing a technical degree program, taking courses to transfer to a 4-year college or university, or being a part of our national championship winning traditions, Central Alabama will provide you with courses and degree programs in tune with today's workplace. Get a sharper focus on your life by choosing one of our 3 convenient locations: Alex City, Childersburg, and Talladega. Central Alabama Community College. Central to you. Central to your success.
This is a nice place. How much do you think this is going to cost us?
I have no idea. Surely they'll show us some options.
I wonder if we should have asked.
At K.L. Brown Memory Chapel, we believe creating a service to match your budget is the best service we can offer.
I thought for sure it was going to cost more.
I'm so glad we can afford what we want.
And welcome back to Lions Stadium. Again, crowd continuing to file in here as Munford and Talladega getting set to kind of get after each other here this evening. And again, the Tigers will be receiving to get this contest underway. This is the 20th meeting all time between these two schools. Talladega leads the series 16-3, and it's an interesting 16-3 the way that has developed. Talladega won the first 16 games of this series, but Munford has won the last 3. The first meeting was back in 1947. The Tigers won that game 46-0. The head coaches back in that day 68 years ago, Joe Holcomb, head coach of the Munford Lions, and it was Ralph Gandy heading up the Talladega program.
And Jeff, to kind of tell you a little bit about this rivalry, you look down on the field and I notice, throw records out aside, number 11, James Jenkins, he's a senior wide receiver for Munford. He led the team out of the victory line, and he was fired up. He was out here by himself screaming. He was pumping himself up. So records aside, he is fired up for this game. You can tell some of these kids, they're ready to get this game going. They want those bragging rights that you spoke about earlier.
And again, the Tigers, dressed in their road uniforms here this evening, will be receiving, as putting it on the tee is Dylan Campbell for Coach Bill Smith and the Munford Lions. Coach Bill Smith in his first year as head coach, coming over from the Bounties of Shades Valley to take over this Lion program, and what a job he's done. 6-3 coming into this, the final game of the season. We're playing football from Lion Stadium. A deep kick that is fielded at the 3-yard line. It's returned over the 10, up the 15, and will be pushed out of bounds at the 17-yard line. On the return, that is Damias Beavers for Talladega. And the Tigers will start their opening possession inside their own 20. We'll call it the 18.
And if you're Talladega, just get something going on this first drive. You can't just go 3 and out really quickly in this ball game. If you want to stay in this ball game throughout all 4 quarters, you need to start out strong in a game like this. So let's see what they can put together, Jeff.
We'll take a look at the starting offensive lineup for the Tigers in just a moment. From the 18-yard line, it's 1st and 10 for Talladega. Third-year head coach Robert Herring heading up the Tiger program. From the 18, they'll go down under center on the out of the I formation, and they fumble the football right out of the gate. It's loose, and Munford has it, I do believe, and they do. First play from scrimmage, the Tigers put it on the ground. The Lions recover, and the Munford in business.
Tough break for the Talladega Tigers. As you see, a bad exchange between the quarterback, number 18, Ashton Duncan, and his center, number 50, Justin Shields. It gives Munford the ball on the Tigers' 21-yard line, and this is not the way you wanted to start this game if you're Coach Herring and his Tigers.
Not at all. From the 21-yard line, Harris will fire a pass on the near side. That's Jenkins, and Jenkins will pick up maybe 9 down to the 12-yard line. There to make the tackle was Robert Green for the Tigers. Will be 2nd down and 1. We'll make it 2nd down and 2 at the 13 for the Lions.
Somewhat of a high throw by number 4, Harris, to his wide receiver. Great block downfield by the slot receiver, number 23, QT Elston.
2nd down and 2, and that's big Charles Smith. Smith has the first down as he moves inside the 10, pushed out of bounds at the 6-yard line by Beavers. Smith coming in, the leading rusher for this Munford Lion team, with already over 1,100 yards on the ground.
He's the type of guy, just by looking at him, you can tell he's a stout back. He's the type of guy down the stretch you can give him the football and he can be the workhorse.
From the 6-yard line, they run Smith again, and Smith is down to the 2-yard line, make it the 3. That's a pickup of 3 yards on the play for the Lions, and defensively that was Jamonte Twyman coming in to make the stop, big number 51 for the Tiger D.
Twyman doing a great job getting low. When you got a powerful back like that, you're not going to do any good if you try to hit them up high. You got to get kind of low, get at their base if you want to bring them down.
From the 3-yard line, it's 2nd down and goal. They'll run Smith, and down he goes for no gain at the 3-yard line. It will be 3rd down and goal for Munford. Jaquan Scales getting up from the pile, and Munford looking to take advantage of this big Tiger turnover. It will be 3rd down and goal now at the 3-yard line for the Lions. Again, Avery Harris, the quarterback. Behind him, you see Charles Smith. And they will run Smith again, and Smith fights his way. And did he get in? He did not. He is stopped just short of the goal line. It will be 4th down now, Cody. 4th down and less than a yard for Munford.
And if you're Talladega, you're winning so far. Kind of, your offense puts you in a bad situation. Talladega's defensive line could have easily, or the defense as a whole could have easily let Munford walk into the end zone, and they're fighting back with their back against the wall right here. When you got fourth and just a little bit.
Fourth down, they run Smith. Did he get in? No signal from the official yet, and apparently not. Talladega has held. So a big turnover on the very first play by the Tiger offense, and, well, it didn't hurt them, Cody. They get away with it.
And if you're Coach Crawford, the offensive line coach for the Munford Lions, you can't be happy with how you got, you started out this drive great. You got some big gains, but then you get right here where it matters inside the 5-yard line, and you just get whipped up front by this defensive front of the Tigers. Great job by the defense not allowing Munford to just walk into the end zone. And if you're Talladega on offense here, just do not make the same mistake you made on your opening drive of the football game.
Not at all, especially inside your own 1-yard line. First down and 10 for Talladega, as Munford unable to score on a fourth down. Quick pass over here on the near side is complete. That will be a first down and a whole lot more, and that's getting out of the hole and getting out of the hole in a hurry. As that pass from Ashton Duncan, he hooks up with Jaquan Scales as wide receiver, and that play will net 14.
And that's just a quick drop back. As you see, number 18, Duncan gets the snap and turns and just fires a real quick pass to number 11, Jaquan Scales. And that was a good job getting upfield and getting the first down, ensuring that you keep this drive moving. That was a great play call, the way your first drive went.
First and 10, 9-10 and counting, opening quarter. No score in the football game. The Tigers with a first and 10 at their own 15. This is Duncan to the near side. They run the toss near side, slow developing, but still it picks up 4 yards on the play as the ball carrier on the option, that's Cheston Tanner. It will be second down and 6 for the Tigers.
As you see, that's going with the option. And you would imagine there, you thought Duncan was going to keep the ball for a second, but he waits a little late, tosses that football to his running back, and got about 4 or 5 yards on that carry.
Scales goes to the far side on this second down and 6 call from the 19. Duncan, the quarterback, just a sophomore. And there's a mix-up on the exchange, and it will cost the Tigers some real estate, as Duncan will be taken down at the 17-yard line. It's a loss of 2. Third down and 8 upcoming for the Tigers.
And that's going with a read option to the Tigers on that play, and that was a high snap. It's tough to do that read option well, to run that read option well, and you got to come back down with the ball and try to read that defensive end. And that play's just swallowed up. A great job by this defensive front for the Munford Lions. And if you're the center for the Tigers, Justin Shields, you've got to get better with your exchange with your quarterback.
Third down and 8 at the 17. And now we have an official's timeout. Timeout taken by Talladega with 7:36 to go, opening quarter. We're scoreless on the Friday Night Network. Need to turn me up.
Have you got the new car itch but don't want to take the plunge with a brand new car? How about getting the most car for the money at Avery Auto Sales? They have a large selection of cars with even some 2014s in the mix. And if you're worried about your credit, don't. They can help get you back on your credit feet with guaranteed approval. Check them out online at AveryAutoSales.net. Then when you see something you like, call them at 256-835-8897 for a test drive. Or just go by. Avery Auto Sales is located on Highway 78 East between Highway 78 and Snow Street in Oxford. That's Avery Auto Sales.
Here we go, third down and 8 for the Tigers. Quick pass over there on the far side. It's incomplete, in and out of the hands of the intended receiver. That's Jalen Green, number 21. So it will be fourth down and 8 for the Tigers, and they will be forced to punt the football.
And that looked to be a pretty good pass. The quarterback Duncan out to Green in the flats, and he just looked upfield before he brought that football in. It went right between his hands, and I'm not for sure if he still would have gotten the first down, but nonetheless, it sets up a situation where you're Talladega, you have to punt the football.
Jaquan Scales will punt it away for the Tigers. You see, standing back near his 5-yard line. He gets his kick away. End over end. It's fielded at the 49-yard line. Returned by Munford across the 45, and down he goes at the 41-yard line. That's Austin Campbell on the 9-yard return for the Lions. And Munford now with a great field position, Cody. First down at the Tiger 40.
Yet again, they begin a drive with great field position. That punt almost blocked by Munford. And a pretty solid punt, considering that he had a lot of pressure barreling right down on him, was Jaquan Scales as he punted that football away. Great field position for Munford in their second drive.
Trips to the far side. It's 1st and 10, and they run Smith again, and Smith is stopped for no gain at the 40-yard line. Scales again coming in to make the stop for Talladega. It will be 2nd down and 10.
And a great job up front so far by this Talladega defensive line. They're doing a great job getting into the backfield, and we saw that once they got down, backed up into their own inside their own 5-yard line. And if you're Munford, you've got to get more physical up front in this ball game as this thing progresses.
Trips to the far side to the top of your screen, and Harris will run it himself, and he will be taken down short of the first down at the 32-yard line. It is, however, a pickup of 8 yards on the play, and third down and 2 now for Munford. They need the 30.
Great job reading the end by Harris on the design read option. He keeps that and goes up the middle for a big gain for the Munford offense.
3rd down and 2, and you can see movement, and Talladega may have jumped into the neutral zone, and if that's the case, that'll be an easy 5 yards. And we'll just let them sort it out here. Once again, the white head, you see him, that's Jimmy Buckaloo, and let's get the call.
Prior to the snap, we have
So it is offsides against Talladega, and that's an easy 5 yards and an easy way to move the chains. Now 1st down for the Lions at the 27-yard line. Trips to the bottom of your screen. Harris will throw the football. Sets and fires. Pass thrown behind his intended receiver. That's number 1, Austin Campbell, down near the 15-yard line. And I guess had it not been thrown behind him, instead of had it been catchable, it would have been 6-0 in a hurry, Cody.
That was a great route by Austin Campbell. When he broke in his route, he had beaten his man, which was DeMarco Truss. And as you said, that ball just delivered behind him. If Harris hits him in stride, that's more than likely that was a touchdown for the Munford Lions.
2nd down 10, and it will soon be 2nd down and 15 as Munford moved early.
Going to get a false start here against the Munford Lions, and up front you got to get your head in the game. If you're Coach Smith and the offensive line coach, Coach Crawford, you've got to get these guys in the game and not putting it all on their backs. But right now they've had a few miscues mentally, and they're just going to have to get more physical up there if they want to put some points on the board here in their second drive.
2nd down 15 near the 33-yard line for the Lions. Harris to throw, pumps once, deep downfield. Campbell's out there. Campbell's got it. Touchdown, Munford. Boy, you talk about well thrown. Harris just laid it out there, and there was Campbell hauling it in for the first points of the ball game.
And Harris does a great job on his pump fake selling this, and he does a good job stepping into the pocket, stepping into the throw. And here we see Harris drop back, pump fakes out to that flats, looks downfield and tosses a bomb to number 11, James Jenkins, for the Lions. And he makes a great catch and dives into the end zone to put 6 on the board for the Munford Lions.
6-0 the score. Seth Thomas in for the point after. Kick is up, and the kick is good. So with 6:05 to go, first quarter, it's Munford with the early 7-0 lead on the Friday Night Network.
Oh, hey, you got one of those insurance apps too? You know how this thing works?
No, sorry. Not an app, it's my agent.
In this moment,
No, I'm fine, thanks.
It's good to know you have a trusted, independent auto owner's insurance agent who's there when you need them.
Great. Man, I gotta get one of those.
Auto Owners Insurance, the no problem people.
Calhoun Insurance in Oxford is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
6:05 to go, opening quarter, 7-0 now. Munford on top of this one. The Lions have had 2 possessions. On their first possession, they were stopped inside the 1-yard line on their way in. Goal line stand by the Tigers, but possession number 2 resulted in points on the long touchdown pass that's given them this 7-0 lead as they kick back to the Tigers. Low kick that will be fielded at the 1-yard line. It will be returned to the far side and not very far, however, as being taken down out near the 15-yard line. And once again, Talladega will start a possession inside their own 20 with a 1st and 10.
Great open field tackle by number 15, Nicholas Parker, for the Munford Lions. And that was a great burst of speed by number 9, Bruce Garrett, on the return, as it looked like he was going to get outside and get upfield, but no going. As we said, Nicholas Parker took a great angle there and a good open field tackle. And Talladega starting at about the 15-yard line in their second drive of the night.
1st down and 10. They'll have 4 wide receivers. You see 2 to the left and 2 to the right. Ashton Duncan, just a sophomore quarterback for Coach Robert Herring's Tigers. And Duncan will run it himself, but down he goes. No gain, maybe a yard. Give him 2 on the play. It got a good spot up to the 17. It will be 2nd down. We'll call it 8 for the Tigers at their own 17-yard line.
And I realize Duncan is a young guy, and this is something that he will see as he progresses throughout his career. His offensive line has opened up some big holes for him to run through. He's just hesitating a little bit too much before he cuts it upfield. And his vision will improve, and his decision-making will improve as he gets a little older. But there were some big holes he could have ran right up the middle for a little bit more yardage.
2nd down and 8 for the Tigers, and they'll run the speed sweep to the near side, but nowhere to go. Being taken down at the line of scrimmage for no gain. That's Jalen Green. Sees Austin Stevens in on the stop defensively for Munford. 3rd down and long now for the Tigers.
And there you see Jalen Green, as you said, on the speed sweep. Great job by Austin Stevens, or Nicholas Parker, I believe that was. No, it was, number 14, Austin Stevens. Great job recognizing the play, and he just shoots through there and makes a great open field tackle. And it brings up a 3rd and long situation for Talladega.
And they'll send Scales along with Green wide left, and again 2 wideouts to the near side, and another 3rd and long for the Tigers, needing the 25 as Ashton looks to throw. Does throw. Pass thrown a bit behind the intended receiver. That's Dylan Bradford. That will bring up a 4th down for the Tigers and punting situation. Let's go down for the first time tonight. We'll go downstairs and join FNN's Caroline Saunders.
Hey guys, both teams are telling their players to just stick to the fundamentals of football and to keep blocking and to keep scoring. But the Munford defensive line coach looked at his players in the eyes and said, don't do anything stupid tonight. Our season isn't over. And guys, in a rivalry like this, emotions are bound to run high, so hopefully everyone keeps their cool tonight. Jeff, back to you.
All right, thanks very much, Caroline. Punt formation. It's fielded by the Lions, and on the return down the far boundary and still on his feet and all the way down near the 25-yard line on that punt return. That will give Munford a 1st and 10 down near the 22-yard line. And again, seems like, and I know it has, the entire game to this point, Cody, has been played on Munford's side of the 50.
You're right, Jeff. And Talladega doing all it can on defense to try to keep Munford out of the end zone. That was a great return. As he caught that on the run, did Tanner Reeves, the tight end, number 10 for Munford, gets a huge gain on the return and sets Munford up in great field position.
At the 22-yard line, and they'll run Smith, and Smith will be taken down for a loss back at the 24 to bring up 2nd down and 11 for Munford. There to make the stop again was Jamonte Twyman defensively for the Tigers.
And if you're Talladega, there's only so much your defense can do and only so long they can keep you in a ball game. Your offense has to get something going. as your defense is winning up front, it looks as though the only way Munford has been very successful down the field is passing the football.
Trips to the near side. Harris to throw on second down. Screen pass. It's complete. Down inside the 15. Still on his feet down to the 14-yard line. Reeves on the receiving end, and that will move the football down near a first down.
Great patience by Harris on that wide receiver screen as he backs up as long as he can and delivers the football to Reeves on the wide receiver screen, and Reeves does a great job getting upfield. He could have been taken down a bit short of the first down marker, but he fights for a couple of more yards and gives Munford a first down.
It is a first down, giving the Lions a 1st and 10 down near the 12-yard line. And they'll run Big Charles Smith this time, and Smith will be down near the goal line. He got in there. Touchdown, Munford. As Charles Smith scores his first touchdown of the evening to move on top now. The Lions up 13-0 on the 13-yard run by Smith.
Big Charles Smith drags Daquan Scales into the end zone, and this goes back to show you why we don't coach, or I don't coach football. As I said, the only thing they had success with was throwing the football, and here they put it on the ground with Big Charles Smith, and he runs it into the end zone. You got to wonder if we had an instant replay, that one might be down about the 1-yard line. But great job running the football by Big Charles Smith.
Seth Thomas in for the extra point, and he kicks it through. So 2:50 still to go in the opening quarter. It's all Munford as the Lions lead the Tigers 14-0 on the Friday Night Network.
When you wanted fast, when you needed speed, we've always been the one. Well, now, the fastest just got faster. Introducing Ultra 100 Internet from Cable One. Experience speeds up to 100 megs. Welcome to Ultra 100 Internet.
Cable One, the fastest just got faster.
14-0. Dylan Campbell with it teed up for Munford as the Lions will kick yet again back to the Tigers as Munford just has jumped on Talladega early here in this contest. The kick will be returned. Running to the far side and getting up near the 20-yard line on the return. That's Demias Beavers for Talladega, and the Tigers down by 14 will come onto the field, their offense with a 1st and 10.
And this quite possibly the best starting field position Talladega has had so far tonight on offense. And if you're Coach Herring, you want to see Demias Beavers cut it upfield a little bit earlier than that. I understand you try to use your speed and do what you can to get out into open space, but you got to kick it upfield and use some of these lanes that your blockers have made for you and get all the yardage you can, because it's going to come tough tonight for Talladega.
First down at the 20. Duncan will run it himself for just a yard. Austin Stevens again there to make the tackle. 2nd down and 9 for the Tigers at the 21.
Great job shooting the gap by Austin Stevens. Another great open field tackle as he was alone with the quarterback there, and he brings him down. And that's one good thing about Stevens here early in this ball game, as we've seen. He is great when it comes to tackling. He wraps these guys up, takes them to the ground. None of this throwing his arms at them or anything like that. So a solid job here early in this football game out of number 14, Austin Stevens.
Yeah, Stevens, an all-state linebacker here for this Munford team. I mean, sideline to sideline, he's there. 2nd down and long for the Tigers. 3rd down and long now for the Tigers. Maybe a yard by Duncan, and that's all he's going to get. From the 21, 3rd down for Talladega. Just under 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter from Lions Stadium. It's the game of the week on the Friday Night Network. Final game of the regular season for these two schools. Thursday night edition of our game of the week here in Talladega County. 3rd down and 9 for Talladega. Once again, the line to make is the 30. Thus far in this game, the Tigers have only picked up 1 first down in the contest, and they'll need 9 yards right here on this 3rd down play. Duncan to throw. He will throw. Pass is caught short of the first down, however. On the receiving end of that pass, that was Demias Beavers, but down he goes at the 28. And it will be 4th down and 2.
That was a great open field tackle by number 13, Tranis Patterson, the cornerback, senior cornerback for the Munford Lions. It looked as though Beavers was going to have the opportunity to get upfield and get the first down. I think he made the wrong move, kicking it outside to try to get up the field, and forces Talladega to punt the football yet again. And to me, they're going to have to pass the football a lot more. They can't keep running the quarterback keeper. That's the only way they've been able to move the football successfully, what little they have tonight. Talladega needs to drop some more plays in the air.
And now we have a penalty marker thrown by the referee, and that is an illegal participation against Talladega, and that will cost them 5 yards and back them up near the 23-yard line.
And Talladega has another miscue and backs him up a little bit further. This is, in my opinion, after this punt, unless we see a generous hop here, Munford is going to get the ball yet again inside Talladega territory to begin yet another drive on offense.
Again, Jaquan Scales will punt it away, may not get the play off. We under 5 seconds, they do get it off, and Scales' kick is away, and it lands at midfield, a bit of a tiger roll, and they'll roll, or blow it dead, rather, at the 43-yard line, and that is the final play of the first quarter. So after 12 minutes of action, it's all Munford as they lead Talladega 14-0. Second quarter action coming up on the Friday Night Network.
Come from everywhere to get their deal from Bill Stanford. They come from Ashland, Brompton, Lineville. They come from Moody, Munford, Coldwater, Birmingham, Talladega, Lincoln, Riverside, Heflin. There's no better deal than a Talladega Bill deal.
Right now, all Ram trucks are at or below supplier price. Save over $2,700 on this 2015 Ram 1500 at Bill Stanford.
Come on out to Bill Stanford in Talladega.
Here we go, second quarter action from Lion Stadium. Again, Munford on top by a score of 14-0. The Lion offense is on the field, and we'll take a look at the Lion starting offense right now. Of course, you see right there Campbell, Smith, Harris. We've already talked about Avery Harris, the junior quarterback for Coach Bill Smith's Lions. Tanner Reeves at tight end, Jenkins, Q.T. Elston, along with on that offensive line of Bussey, Robinson, Jacob Smith, and Seth Thomas. Starting offense here this evening for this Munford team, and it's a Munford offense, Cody, that has scored a lot of points through this 2015 season.
You're right, Jeff. Great team offensively. You need to improve just a little bit on defense, but hard to say you need to improve a lot when they have the record that they do, and they're going into the postseason as the number 2 seed in their region. Huge gain there on first down for the Munford Lions.
And that's DeCorey Russell on the receiving end of that Harris pass. It takes it all the way down to the 37-yard line. That's a chain mover and a 1st and 10 now for Munford, as you see there. Out of Class 4A Region 3, they'll go in next week as the number 2 team, the number 2 seed in Region 3, and will play right here at home. Opening round of the state high school football playoffs. Another completed pass by Harris to Campbell. Campbell still on his feet and finally down at the 21, and that will advance the chains again. It's a 15-yard gain this time and a 1st down for the Lions.
A missed open field tackle by DeMarco Truss. And that allows Austin Campbell to get upfield for an extra few yards. And you know, I say that Munford could use a little improvement on defense, but they do play in a very tough region. Yeah. A lot of high-powered offenses in this region. So,
and there goes Charles Smith, and Smith is pushed out of bounds down near the 5-yard line. That will be another 15-yard gainer, make it 16 yards at the 6-yard line. And just like that, Munford is on the move once more and have it 1st and goal inside the 10.
And that's a huge gain, another huge gain for the Munford Lions. Sets them up in a great position. 1st and goal situation. Let's see what they do if they hand it off to Big Charles Smith here.
At the 7-yard line, Smith is behind Harris. Drops the football. It's loose, but Harris falls on it back at the 10-yard line. Just a mix-up on the handoff from Harris to Smith. The ball hit the turf, but No one recognized the fact the ball was loose in the Lion backfield, and Harris finally falls on it. It will be a loss of 3.
Jake Q. Wilson read that play all day long. He thought he had Charles Smith in the backfield. It was an ugly exchange between the quarterback and Charles Smith, and that was a good job reading that play.
2nd down and goal. Pass is complete to Jenkins. He spins his way, did not get in. He stopped just short of the goal line as again Harris hooks up with James Jenkins, the wide receiver. 3rd down and goal now for the Lions inside the 1.
It looked as though Jenkins was drugged down into the end zone, kind of spun around, but the officials say he's just short of the goal line. It said Munford up in about a 3rd and half a yard before Munford can put it in. And you got to think here they hand it to Big Charles Smith, see if he can't power his way into the end zone.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's the odds of Smith getting the handoff here? 3rd down, and we're wrong once more. Harris will roll to the far side. He's in trouble, and he goes down. He'll lose a couple of yards. Back at the 2-yard line. Will be 4th down and goal for Munford at the 2-yard line. Now, you know, their opening possession, Talladega was able to stop Munford on a 4th down inside the 1. Well, they will be called upon once more right here as it's 4th down and goal at the 2 this time.
Talladega doing a great job. They do not want to get beat on the ground. They're going to force the pass, and it's worked out well for Munford when they do throw the football. And we'll see what Talladega draws up here.
4th down and goal. Harris rolls, looks, throws into the end zone. This pass is caught. Touchdown, Munford. That's Reeves on the receiving end. His first score of the evening. Tanner Reeves on 4th down, 2-yard toss from Harris. It's now a 20-0 Lion lead.
Reeves with a great catch out there in space and just powers his way into the end zone. And Adrian Swain in coverage is after they got up from the ground, Adrian Swain just pats Reeves and trying to show a sign of respect there. He pats him and they part their ways, but that was a nice show of physicality going into the end zone by Reeves.
Seth Thomas out of the hold of Harris. Kick is up. And this one is good. Munford on top 21-0. Second quarter action from Lion Stadium on the Friday Night Network.
Since 1848, our bank has witnessed inventions that have changed the world. Conveniences such as the refrigerator, the light bulb, and the airplane were all created during the early days of our bank. VHS tapes, DVDs, smartphones, all invented while we were First National Bank of Talladega. Our name may have changed, but we have a rich history. First Bank of Alabama. We're still first, and so are you.
It's 21-0 Munford on top of Talladega. 2-yard touchdown toss from Harris to Reeves. Let's take a look at that again, that touchdown play just a moment ago.
There you see he rolls out and just dumps it off to number 10, Tanner Reeves. And that was a great job by Avery Harris, just rolling out, being patient, and tossing it to his tight end for a touchdown.
Back to live action. Munford's kick sails out of bounds, and Talladega, as a result of the out-of-bounds kick, will get their best field position of the evening. They'll take over at their own 35-yard line with a 1st and 10.
And now this back-to-back drives, they're improving their starting field position. So you got Talladega. They've improved up. They're about at the 35-yard line here starting. What is this, their 4th drive, 5th drive now? So you've got really great field position to begin this drive. Try to do something with the football here. You've had success throwing the football. Let's go back to that. Try to open things up and spread the field a little bit. You've got the speed. You're doing a great job when you hit those quick throws. And let's see if we can't get some quick slants or some curl routes going and then try to get this offense moving a little bit.
1st down at the 35. Duncan will take, and he'll give to his fullback, who's into the football game as they run out of the eye. That's Cortavian Gooden, number 32. It's pickup of 2 out to the 37. You know, Cody, last week we saw 2 teams, and we had Aniston team. As you see, the offensive starters tonight for Talladega. Duncan, we've talked about him often tonight, the sophomore quarterback. Scales, Beavers, Tanner, Bradford, Green, and that offensive line of Justin Shields, Jamonte Twyman, Nijai Garrett, Justin Twyman, and Robert Houston. The big guys up front for Talladega. Is it foggy or what out here? I feel like I'm in England. Second down and 8 from the 37-yard line on the second down call, maybe a yard. And that's all up to the 38. But I was talking about last week, we had an Anniston team that came in against Alexandria, and no doubt about it, they were big underdogs, and so important for them to get off to a good start, and they did. Same thing here tonight. The only difference is Talladega needing to get off to a good start, and they did not.
You hit it the nail right on the head, Jeff. That's what Talladega needed. They needed to get their first offensive possession. They needed to put some type of points on the board and get a great start on offensively, but they couldn't do it. Their defense has came through, but as we've seen week in and week out, your defense can only do so much, and their defense getting a little tired right here. Their offense has to put a drive together.
3rd and long, and Duncan to throw. Duncan's in trouble, and Duncan will be taken down back at the 36-yard line. That's a loss of a couple, and the Tigers will be forced to punt once more. 4th down and 9 at the 36-yard line, and in comes the punting unit.
And obviously that was a pass play, but he had no time to throw the football. Did Avery Harris excuse me, that's going to be Duncan. Sorry, number 18, Ashton Duncan, as he drops back. He had no time to throw the football. He had to roll out and try to get what he could on his feet. And he had a swarm of Munford Lions there waiting on him, and there's just nothing going on that drive for Talladega.
4th down and 9. And they'll punt the football. Kick fielded by Campbell at the 33. Campbell will return over the 40. And out of bounds he goes at the 44-yard line. That will be an 11-yard return. We do have a penalty marker down at the 46-yard line, so they may bring this punt return back. That was an 11-yard return out to the 44-yard line. Let's go downstairs and join Caroline.
Hey guys, Munford's middle linebacker number 14, Austin Stevens, is fighting a pretty nasty cold and has not really stopped coughing since kickoff. He has not been taken out of the game yet, but the coaches are looking for some cough medicine for him. And guys, I can tell he definitely does not feel good, but is continuing to push through, so I'll keep y'all updated on his status as the night continues. Jeff, back to you.
All right, thanks, Caroline. Austin Stevens, again, we talked about, just all-state linebacker for Coach Bill Smith and the Munford Lions, and Austin Stevens at 50% is not bad. 100%, my goodness. First down now, following the penalty mark-off for Munford that moved it back to the 36-yard line. And on first down, Charles Smith runs it 7 yards to the 43 to bring up a 2nd down and 3 for the Lions.
And when you've got a guy like Austin Stevens on the sideline, he's showing these young guys the type of culture around here, what Coach Bill Smith expects here. And he's just fighting through a cold. As you said, if he's even at 50% right now, he's playing very well. Just imagine him healthy. Just showing some leadership here tonight, even in a game that honestly doesn't really matter as far as the grand scheme of things.
Smith falls forward to the 46 near the first down. We're midway through the second quarter, and it's been all Munford in this one as they lead by 21, and they have the football once more, and we'll bring on the change for the measurement here as we will measure the gain and see if Smith was able to pick up the first down here.
This fog has rolled in, and it just continues to roll in. As you said, feels like we're over in London right now.
I don't have to tell you, do I? You can see it for yourself. They stretch it out, and it's enough. First down, Lions at the 46-yard line. It is senior night here at Munford High School as all the seniors were recognized before the start of the game. Final game of the regular season for Munford. First down and 10 at the 46. Harris on first down. They'll run the football, and still on his feet and now no longer on his feet, down at the 42. That will be a loss of 4 yards on the play. QT Elston, and just bounced off and was kind of like a slingshot there for a minute, but the end result is negative yardage.
See Munford run the counter. Number 23, QT Elston. I want to talk about a guy on the field right now. Number 78, the right tackle, Seth Thomas. He's a senior. His dad, Jim, came up to the press box pregame and talked with us. Seth is going to be headed to Ole Miss. He got a scholarship to go there to school. His brother will be tuning into our broadcast. He's all the way in Russia. Jesse Thomas, we want to say hello. He's listening in Russia right now, and we're glad you're tuning in with us.
Yeah, nothing like FNN's coverage reaching over there to Russia. Wonder if Putin's watching. From the 43-yard line, that's a 5-yard penalty now. This will be a dead ball offsides against Talladega that will move it up near the 48-yard line. Will be 2nd down and 9. Just another pre-snap penalty against Talladega. 2nd down now and long for the Lions out near midfield. Harris to throw on 2nd down. He'll throw deep downfield. Elston's out there. It is incomplete. Covered well defensively by the Tigers. A bit underthrown. 3rd down and 9 upcoming now for the Lions.
Great coverage, as you said, and that ball wasn't thrown very well, as you'd like to see Harris put a little bit more underneath that to get it out to number 23, QT Elston, as he had his man, had about a step on his man, but just a throw you'd like to have back if you're number 4, Avery Harris.
3rd down 9 at the 47. Trips to the bottom of your screen. As Harris to throw on 3rd down, does throw. Pass intended for Jenkins. The timing just not there that time, so it's 3 and out this time for the Lions on their possession, and they will punt it back to the Tigers from near midfield.
And you got to get on the same page as wide receiver James Jenkins, the senior. As the ball was thrown out toward the sideline. And just not on the same page on that.
Dylan Campbell will punt it away for the Lions on this 4th down and 9. There's no rush. Kick is away. It's a high, short kick. It will land at the 25, roll inside the 20, and they'll blow it dead at the 14-yard line. And from the 14, Talladega will take over offensively with a 1st and 10. You see the score, 21-0. Munford scoring on 3 consecutive possessions. They were stopped inside their 1 on their first possession of the game following a Tiger turnover, but the next 3 times they had the ball, they scored all 3 of them, and they enjoy this comfortable 21-0 lead with 5:12 to go here in the 2nd quarter from Lions Stadium. This Talladega, Cody, just needs some kind of spark here. I mean, just anything. You know, they've only picked up 1 first down in the football game, and, you know, a 1st down would even be a plus right now.
You're right, Jeff. You just need to move the football. You need to at least get past the 50-yard line, and they're having trouble as they're not finding any consistency on offense.
And they'll run the football on 1st down, and nowhere to go. Stop for no gain on the play. The ball carrier, the first carry of the night for Jacoyas Chapman Rowe, and it will be a loss of 1. Back to the 13, 2nd down and 11 for Talladega.
One of the things I've seen, Jeff, is Talladega hasn't used a defense. They don't really have an identity offensively. I've seen them try to run the triple option. I've seen them go back in the gun with the 2-back set and try to run like the old power out of the gun. You've seen them line up an I formation. You've seen them try to spread the ball around a little bit, passing the football. They've got to find an identity and find something that works. And the passing game was working earlier in the football game. You need to go back to that.
2nd down and 11. 2 yards on the 2nd down play, just running off right tackle to bring up a 3rd down and 9 now for the Tigers. That's Montez Cunningham, the ball carrier. And again, the Tigers face 3rd and a whole lot. They'll need the 24-yard line as they scrimmage from the 15. Under 4 minutes to go here in the opening half. from the 15-yard line. And you can see from our camera angles, it is a foggy evening in Munford, Alabama. Well, Halloween is just a couple of days away. It's supposed to look like this, right? Duncan to throw, does throw, underthrown, incomplete. It's 4th down, 3 and out once more for Talladega, and they'll punt the football back to the Lions.
The intended receiver, number 12, Demias Beavers, is Duncan does a great job splitting the defenders, throws a bullet pass, but it's just too low, as that would have been a first down, in my opinion. All Demias Beavers had to do was turn and cut it upfield for about 1.5 yards, and he would have had the first down, but that's the game of football. It's a game of inches, and that ball just hits the ground way too low of a throw. And Talladega forced to punt the football yet again here tonight, Jeff.
And there's Reeves and Campbell back deep to return the punt. As Scales will boot it away. Big rush, but he got his kick off. And it's picked up by Campbell. We do have Campbell returning it to the near side, but he is taken down over here at the 43-yard line by Chapman Rowe, and it will be first down for, well, check it, back at the line of scrimmage. We've got a penalty marker down. I didn't see it, but thrown in the Tiger backfield, and we may have a roughing or running into the kicker possibly.
We had a late Tiger coming into the game. They went ahead and snapped the ball anyway, I believe, because of the play clock. So you're going to have an offsides penalty, or excuse me, you're going to have, that's going to be against the offense, and then you've got a block at the
illegal
back,
substitution on the red. We have into the kicker. Excuse me, the foul is on White. Illegal substitution on White. Back on the return. All penalties will offset.
Okay, so we've got offsetting penalties according to Jimmy Buckaloo. I can understand stage fright. It's all right, Jimmy. We're just seen by over 100,000 here this evening, so moves it back to the 15-yard line. 4th down, and we'll do it again. It's just an absolute do-over on 4th down as we had offsetting penalties, and we'll try it one more time as Scales will punt it back to the Lions. Good snap. Kick is away. Short kick this time. And it takes a Lion roll back to the 36-yard line, so that will be just a 20-yard punt by Scales, and the Lions will have great field position yet again. First down and 10 at the Talladega 36-yard line.
Not far to work with until you get into the end zone if you're Munford. Talladega's defense has got to be worn out by now, and that's nothing against their strength and conditioning, but I mean, there's only so long your defense can stay out on the field and give your offense opportunities like they did early in this football game. Munford starts on about the 36-yard line.
And they'll run the toss to the near side. Smith, and down he goes in the backfield. That will be a loss of 3 back at the 39-yard line. Good open field tackle by Jaquan Scales, who comes in to make the stop for the Tigers.
Munford, you can tell they want to get, you can see it now, it's evident, they want to get the football, they want to get their running game going, in the football game, and it's Talladega's defense doing a great job so far tonight, kind of containing this running game for the Munford Lions, and Munford, though, very powerful and quick strike in their passing game.
2nd down 13 as Harris wants to throw with time. He does throw a pass that's incomplete. Penalty marker down, however, there was some early contact. Austin Campbell, the intended receiver, but the incomplete pass and the pass play, I should say, may result in a defensive penalty.
It's going to be number 6, Montez Cunningham, the freshman strong safety, as he makes contact a little bit early with Austin Campbell. I believe that ball is just a tad bit uncatchable. But doesn't matter. They're still going to call this, and it's kind of one of those, I guess you could say, a ticky-tacky call.
They'll mark it off from the line of scrimmage. You know, in high school football, pass interference is Not a spot foul, but it's a 15-yarder. And here's the
defensive pass interference. It's a 15-yard foul.
It is a first down for Munford down at the 23-yard line. A new set of downs there following the 15-yard penalty against the Tigers. Got 4 wide receivers into the game, 2 each side, and now Campbell goes in motion. You see him there to the far side on this first down play. Screen pass set up beautifully to Charles Smith, and he'll take it into the end zone for the touchdown. That is great execution, and the Munford Lions move on top 27-0 on the 23-yard screen pass from Harris to Smith.
Avery Harris drops back yet again on a screen to his running back, big Charles Smith, and a great block by the right guard, number 56, Hayden Bussey, the senior, is out in open space. You see Harris drops back, dumps it off to Smith, and just out of frame, there you see it, number 56, Hayden Bussey, turning his man outside. That was number 11, Jaquan Scales, and Charles Smith uses his vision, cuts it back inside, and gets into the end zone for 6.
Seth Thomas' point after is up. And Seth Thomas is 4 for 4 on the evening. 2:21 to go before halftime. It's Munford on top now, 28-0 over the Tigers. You're watching the Friday Night Network.
We're not trying to hide behind anything. We're trying to be honest. And if you go on our website and look at our, say you pick out an F-150, not only will it show you what we will actually sell that vehicle for, it'll show you what the rebates are, what the rebates are for. It'll let you go ahead and submit your credit to buy that vehicle. If a dealer is not willing to put the price of their vehicle on the internet, say call for price or something like that, is that really a dealer you want to do business with?
And welcome back to Lions Stadium. I'm Jeff, he's Cody, and she down on the field is Caroline. It's the game of the week on Thursday for the Friday Night Network. Glad to have you along. It's been all Munford in this one as they lead 28-0. Still just over 2 minutes to go in the second quarter as the kick is in the air, and the Tigers will receive this one at the 8 and return it across the 10. You see up the center of the field, and at the center of the field there wasn't much at all, was there? That's Montez Cunningham, number 6, on the return for the Tigers. It's just a 6-yard return, and the Tigers will have it first down at their own 15-yard line.
Great kickoff coverage by number 34, Matthew Campbell, and number 44, Bradley Goodson for the Munford Lions. And at this point in the game, if you're Talladega, you've got to just work on some identity things. I mean, you've got to get something going one way or the other. You want to try to keep this game respectable, but Munford all over Talladega in this ball game so far.
We talked about the series between these two teams as Munford has won the last 3 meetings. And looking to make it number 4, and Talladega fumbles the snap from center to quarterback. And there's a fight for it, and apparently Talladega falls on it at the 23-yard line, so they pick up, make that the 18-yard line. They pick up 3 yards off the fumble. It's 2nd down and 7.
I believe that was a bad exchange between the center and the quarterback. That's going to be number 50, Justin Shields, to Duncan. And it's a fumble for and actually gains about 3-4 yards for the Tigers offense. Let's see what they do here in the 3rd and 7 situation.
2nd down, a minute and a half to go here in the opening half. 2nd down and 7 at the 18. And they will lose yardage on the speed sweep. The jet sweep to the near side, and it will cost them about 4 back to the 14, the 14-yard line. They put it down. It'll be 3rd down and 11 for the Tigers.
Senior wide receiver Demise Beavers, number 12, with the carry. And yet again, we're calling his name out. No shock here. Number 14, Austin Stevens, shoots the gap, makes the play in the backfield. And that brings up a 3rd and long situation for the Tigers offense.
Wonder if Munford has ever fielded a football team in the history of the school where they didn't have at least one Stevens playing for it. I mean, that's a name that goes back many years here at Munford High School. The Stevens name, and so many great athletes to come through this school that proudly had that name. 3rd down and long And Duncan is taken down by, guess who, Cody? Stevens back near the 5-yard line.
And on that play, you had number 21 from Munford. That's going to be the big defensive end to Corey Russell, the senior, with pressure. And it forces Duncan inside, trying to find something to do. And yet again, as you said, no shock, Austin Stevens, comes in there and wraps up the quarterback, brings him down for an even bigger loss, and that's a 4th and country mile for this Tigers punting unit to have to get this football away. And you got to think yet again, Munford's going to have the football inside Talladega territory.
4th down, quick break, back with the final seconds of this one on the Friday Night Network.
In this moment, it doesn't matter if you save money in 15 minutes, or if your neighbor has the same insurance that you do. What matters right now is the quality of your independent insurance agent and the company that stands behind them. Auto Owners Insurance.
Parnell Insurance in Oxford is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
Punt formation for the Tigers as Munford called a timeout. They want one more opportunity, obviously, before halftime, and it's a short kick by Scales. It goes out of bounds at the 33-yard line of Talladega, so it will be Lion football now at the 33. They have 2 timeouts remaining. There's 22 ticks remaining on the clock. You're looking at 3, maybe 4 more plays is all that's left here in the first half for Munford to possibly increase its lead, which is already a 28-point advantage.
And if you're Coach Bill Smith here, do you work on kind of a quick strike, your 2-minute offense, or do you just, and it looks as though he's going to do that.
You air it out deep, don't you? As Harris pass got a wide open Campbell at the 6-yard line, just a bit underthrown, or he would have walked into the end zone. So that will be a 27-yard pass play from Harris to Campbell, and a 1st and goal now for the Lions down near the 6.
And Coach Bill Smith clearly wanting to work on some things that will be beneficial as you get into postseason play. And then we see the quick strike from Harris to Campbell. That's a connection we've been called out a couple of times here tonight. Clock rolling. Munford needs to try to put the football in the end zone here.
Yeah, the clock's at 7-6. They get the play. They run with Smith inside, and Smith fights his way into the end zone for the touchdown. He was hit at about the 3-yard line, but again, just fought his way across the goal line. And right before halftime, with just 1.3 ticks remaining on the clock, the Lions move on top by 34.
Looked as though that was, they're trying to get to the line a little bit quicker than that, get the snap off, but nonetheless, they get the snap off, run the play. There you see Big Charles Smith just plow into the end zone for the 6.
34-0. Seth Thomas comes in for the extra point. He's 4 for 4 on the evening. The kick is up, and Seth Thomas is 5 for 5 on the evening. 35-0. It's all Lions at home on senior night. You're watching the Friday Night Network.
Hi, I'm Curtis Skinner. Trust me, to win out here you have to have a team of experienced professionals behind you.
The same kind of professionals you'll need after an automobile accident, and that's what you'll find at Skinner's Body Shop in Oxford. At Skinner Body Shop, you always get free estimates, and our dad's crew can fix it like new. Everybody's seen Bull around with our rollback ready to handle all your towing needs. We work with all major insurance carriers, so the next time you
All right, enough of the details. Just come see my dad at Skinner Body Shop.
She's going to try to get him.
1.3 ticks, all that's left here in the opening half. The Munford Lions coming in 6-3 on the year, and they're already up 35-0 over the Talladega Tigers, coming in at 2 up and 6 down here in this 2015 season. The Tigers just played 9 regular season games this year instead of the normal 10, which most teams play. Short kick that is fielded by Scales. He'll return it across the 35, and he'll be taken down at the 37-yard line, leaving the special teams unit for the Munford Lions. That's number 44, Bradley Goodson, there to make the tackle. 35-0. Again, Munford, as both teams will be headed to the locker room And quite, Cody, I'm sure you would agree, an impressive first half by this Munford team as they just control this one from the get-go, as the Lions have this 35-0 advantage over the Talladega Tigers. And we will go down to the field in just a moment as Caroline is caught up with first-year head coach Bill Smith of the Munford Lions, and we'll get his thoughts on the first half. He's got to be a happy head coach because, after all, they lead by 35. Let's go down to the field right now, and here's Caroline with Coach Smith.
Coach, you're going into halftime leading by 35. Your team's playing good on both sides of the ball. What improvements do you want to see going into the second half?
Well, I'm very pleased with our defensive intensity. I think maybe we've given up one first down. I'm not sure. So our seniors are playing good playing very well on senior night. Quarterback is playing well. They're loading up the box. Our running game is something that we really wanted to work on tonight, but they're almost forcing us to throw the ball with how many people they've got near the line of scrimmage. So we put the ball on the ground a couple of times. We recovered them, but we've got to do a little bit better job. We were a little lackadaisical today. This week has been weird, man. It's been different for the kids because we were off last week. We had race week this week, so when we were off half a day on Friday, we were off all day on Monday. So our routine has been, and I'm a person of routine. So I just want to come out and see us finish well. I hope all of our young kids get to play, and they're expected to do their job when they go in.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Jeff, back to you.
Thanks, Caroline. Thanks very much. He's a man of routine. Well, a lot of success first half too, Cody. I mean, what do you say? I mean, the game started off with a big turnover by Talladega, and really first half, I mean, it's all Munford.
And Coach Smith touched on it. He talked about how it's been an odd past 2 weeks for this Munford team. Is, of course, he alluded to race weekend, and they had a bye week, and then you come back, you miss school on Monday, then you have a Thursday night game. You could tell early in this football game kind of what he was talking about. These kids need a little bit to get back into that routine that he talked about, and they got everything going on both sides of the ball, and something he touched on. I've always been told, I've had several coaches say that you have to have your running game going in big games to win along with your defense, and that's something that he wants to work on moving into the postseason.
Yeah, 35-0 Charles Smith. You see him right there on the screen pass. Had a big first half. All the Lions, especially on the offensive side, playing well, and there just before halftime, the final score of the first half as both teams go to the locker room, and Munford on top by a count of 35-0. We'll be back with halftime activities. Stay with us on the Friday Night Network.
In a world that's ever-changing, you have to be sure that your choices are the right choices. At Central Alabama Community College, you'll know you made the best choice. We understand that you need the best educational opportunities. Whether choosing a technical degree program, taking courses to transfer to a four-year college or university, or being a part of our national championship winning traditions, Central Alabama will provide you with courses and degree programs in tune with today's workplace. Get a sharper focus on your life by choosing one of our 3 convenient locations: Alex City, Childersburg, and Talladega. Central Alabama Community College. Central to you. Central to your success.
Step into the offices of J. Britt Middlebrook, CPA, where you'll find professional one-on-one service for business and individual clients. In this ever-changing tax and economic climate, you can count on receiving the expert advice you need. J. Britt Middlebrook works hard to provide every client what they need to meet all deadlines. Tax season will be here soon. For all your accounting service needs, call or stop by at 1913 Berry Street in Oxford. That's J. Britt Middlebrook, CPA.
Well, it's a bad tactic. What happens is customers get these mailers and they're told that if they win $2,000 for showing up at the dealership or $20,000, and when they get there, it's never the case. It's just simply to get them in there and pull their credit and see if they can buy a car, and it's really dishonest. It's a bad way of doing business, and we're just not going to do that. So come on down to the sunny side of the street and ask for me, Shane Denny. It's where a handshake still matters.
For over 15 years, Advantage Tire has been the go-to place for all your wheel and tire needs. They carry all the top brands as well as do alignments, brake service, and even custom wheels. Advantage also provides exhaust work as well as windshields and wiper blades. Be sure to visit the friendly staff at 5750 Highway 202 in Anniston so you can get your car back on the road in no time. Call Advantage Tire at 256-792-3390.
It's the game of the week on the Friday Night Network. Munford on top of Talladega at the break, 35-0. Let's go to the field and join the Talladega Tiger High School Marching Band. Director Dwayne Player, the Talladega High School Tiger Marching Band. Halftime score, Munford 35, Talladega nothing. Will continue with halftime on the Friday Night Network.
Since 1848, our bank has witnessed inventions that have changed the world. Conveniences such as the refrigerator, the light bulb, and the airplane were all created during the early days of our bank. VHS tapes, DVDs, smartphones, all invented while we were First National Bank of Talladega. Our name may have changed, but we have a rich history. First Bank of Alabama. We're still first, and so are you.
Big Daddy's Barbecue on Highway 21 is where Munford comes to eat. You'll always find delicious home cooking daily with fast, friendly service. Big Daddy's offers plates or sandwiches with all your favorite sides to choose from, specializing in wings, burgers, chicken, ribs, and barbecue. Open early, open late, 6 days a week. Come in with family or friends or call ahead and take it home. 256-358-9005. Big Daddy's Barbecue, proud supporters of the Munford Lions.
35-0, the Munford Lions at halftime. This the final game of the regular season for both these schools as the Lions lead Talladega after 24 minutes of action. The Munford High School marching band on the field, and it's no doubt about it. It's Halloween weekend upcoming, as you've got to love those uniforms, huh? The Munford High School marching band. Let's join them right now. Band director Lindsay Underwood. Munford High School Marching Band. At halftime, 35-0, the Lions over the Tigers. You're watching the Friday Night Network.
Need a place to keep your tools?
Or a place to get away from the wife. Whatever your needs are, we got a barn or a carport for you.
With rent-to-own options and no credit checks, we can help you take home the right barn or carport today.
And with 4 different locations, we're just a short drive away.
So come see us in Glen Cove, Moody, Asheville, or Attala, and let our family help your family get the barn or carport you deserve.
In this moment, it doesn't matter if you save money in 15 minutes or if your neighbor has the same insurance that you do. What matters right now is the quality of your independent insurance agent and the company that stands behind them. Auto Owners Insurance.
Parnell Insurance in Oxford is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
Every day is a great day to stop in a Samco Express Mart. You'll find plenty of snacks to choose from, and Samco has all your favorite drink brands, all nice and cold. You'll find those last-minute light grocery items you need, and a great variety of grab-and-go brands that's sure to cure any case of the munchies. There's lots of candy, mints, and gum, too. Make sure you fuel up before or after the game. With over 30 locations in the area, there's always one close by. Samco Express Mart.
Now what?
Let's go. That way.
Have fun out there on the compact, capable, and entirely new Pioneer 500 from Honda.
Visit Cycle World in Gadsden today or online at cycleworldonline.com.
Your love will bloom with the Romance Bridal Collection. Each ring is a mirror to the natural splendor of sparkling diamonds with exquisitely crafted 18-karat gold designs. Every romance piece is exceptional in both quality and style and comes with a lifetime guarantee that assures its everlasting beauty. Come see Phyllis and the team at Glencoe Jewelry Sales for the Romance Bridal Collection and all of your jewelry needs.
People come from everywhere to get their deal from Bill Stanford. They come from Ashland, Brompton, Lineville. They come from Moody, Munford, Coldwater, Birmingham, Talladega, Lincoln, Riverside, Heflin. There's no better deal than a Talladega Bill deal.
Right now, all GMC Sierras are at or below supplier price. Save over $2,900 on this 2015 GMC Sierra at Bill Stanford.
Come on out to Bill Stanford in Talladega.
There you see the score, 35-0, as halftime activities are slowly drawing to a close. Again, Munford will be in postseason play next week, taking on WS Nil. You know, the Lions play out of Class 4A Region 3, and in that region, the 4 teams that will be participating in the postseason next week, representing that region, of course, is Leeds, the defending state champion, Munford, Dadeville, and Hanley. And you know, Hanley's a good football team. We saw them earlier in the year, Cody, but lo and behold, they are just the number 4 team in this region.
You're right. Hanley was a solid football team we saw versus Leeds. Had an opportunity to win it late in the ball game, but the rain started to come down, and we saw a heartbreaker there in the beginnings of the second half, and Leeds just kind of took over and had clock management there for the second half. But as you see, Hanley traveling to UMS Wright first round, that is a very tough game, and that's something we talked about, getting a 4th seed out of your region. Dadeville in this region has to travel to Thomasville. Munford, of course, at home, and then you got Leeds at home. So a pretty good playoff picture. You see there, Leeds, it still hasn't been decided who they're going to play out of Region 1. And then you've got Munford next week who they got?
W.S. Neal.
That's W.S. Neal, excuse me. I remember you saying that now. But, yeah, playoff picture taking form there. You see again the first round of the playoffs for some of these teams in our area.
Yeah, it really is. A lot of those teams, as you see, in round one of the playoffs next week will be hosting, and that includes the team we're seeing right here tonight. That's Munford, and they will be hosting W.S. Neal. Interesting item or little tidbit of information that I found out about W.S. Neal, and that is the name of their stadium is Buddy Taylor Field. Buddy Taylor was a former coach of Munford's opponent here tonight. Talladega. As a matter of fact, he was head coach of that 1963 state championship team of Talladega. But again, that's the name of the stadium for W.S. Neal. Of course, he coached there as well, and that, of course, is the reason why it's now known as Buddy Taylor Field back in the 1960s. And speaking of former coaches, you know, we talked about the first time these two teams ever met, Talladega and Munford, was back in 1947. The Tigers won that game 46-0. There was a former head coach that played in that game back 68 years ago, and that is former coach of the Walter Wellborn Panthers, who's now in the High School Sports Hall of Fame, and that's Ed Dupree. Ed Dupree was an all-state wide receiver for Talladega back in 1947. I saw Coach Dupree not too long ago. It's at just 85 years young. 35-0 at halftime. It's Munford in control of this one, and we'll be back with the third quarter kickoff on the Friday Night Network.
Oh, hey, you got one of those insurance apps too? You know how this thing works?
No, sorry. Not an app, it's my agent.
In this moment,
No, I'm fine, thanks.
it's good to know you have a trusted, independent auto owner's insurance agent who's there when you need them.
Great.
Man, I gotta get one of those.
Auto Owners Insurance. The no problem people.
Calhoun Insurance in Oxford is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
Big Daddy's Barbecue on Highway 21 is where Munford comes to eat. You'll always find delicious home cooking daily with fast, friendly service. Big Daddy's offers plates or sandwiches with all your favorite sides to choose from, specializing in wings, burgers, chicken, ribs, and barbecue. Open early, open late, 6 days a week. Come in with family or friends or call ahead and take it home. 256-358-9005. Big Daddy's Barbecue, proud supporters of the Munford Lions.
Both teams are back on the field. You see them there. The Munford Lions getting ready for the second half from Lions Stadium, and it's been a good first half for this Munford team. And you know, you talked about it early, Cody, and that is we have a Munford team here tonight that throughout the season they've scored a lot of points. They've lost some games that have been high-scoring affairs, and here they are tonight already with 5 touchdowns at halftime.
You're right, Jeff. Averaging almost 39 points per game are the Munford Lions on offense. Defense, 28 points per game is what they're giving up. And like we said there going into the break or the halftime, Coach Smith talking about he wanted to really try to work on his running game going into the playoffs. We've seen their passing attack work well for them here tonight. Very explosive offense that we've seen so far. And Munford just trying now in the second half, going to play some younger guys and let these guys get experience and rest some of these starters as they move into the first round of the playoffs next week.
35-0 is the score. And again, you see the teams are about to get things started here in the second half. And you know, it's been quite a year here on the Friday Night Network. It started all the way back in August, the dog days of August. Our very first game this year was Auburn and Gadsden City, and what a game it was. Auburn winning that ball game up at Titan Stadium, and we got so many people to thank. I mean, the FNN crew, the camera guys, all the folks in the truck. I mean, all of our many sponsors throughout the year. It really made this a successful year here on FNN, Cody.
And it's been a privilege, honor and privilege to join the team, and it's been fun to broadcast a lot of these games alongside you. And as you said, great job by Caroline and all of the production staff. They've done a great job this year. This thing would not be a success without all of them, and it's just been one of my passions is high school football. I love it. I think it doesn't get any better than that. And so it's been real fun to travel around and see some great football teams and see some really good football games across the state of Alabama.
And we've broken so many records as far as viewers this year. And I mean, across not only the state of Alabama, from Huntsville to Mobile, across all parts of the world. I mean, we've got them listening in and viewing tonight from Russia. And, yeah, we've got the best staff in the world, of course, headed by Q. I mean, no one can run a camera like Q down there on the sideline. We're playing football once more, and the kick is fielded and coming to the near side on the kick return for Munford, and that will take the football up near the 38-yard line. That is Trainus Patterson on the return, and Munford now first down at their own 37-yard line. And as you said, Cody, and we already see it out there, a lot of new faces in this offensive lineup for Munford as they have this comfortable 35-point lead.
Looks as though we're going to have a new quarterback coming to the game. That's going to be number 10, the tight end. Tanner Reeves is actually going to be your quarterback here to begin the second half. And
Reeves will hand the football off, and no gain on the play up to the 37, and that's all there to make the tackle for Talladega. Has been in on a number of tackles from his defensive line position. That's Jamonte Twyman, no gain. Second down and 10 for the Lions.
It's going to be a simple handoff to number 19, Austin Hendon for the Lions. He checks in as the starting running back for the second half. We see Munford work out of the gun.
Second down and 10 at the 37-yard line. Quick pass by Reeves over here on the near side, high and too tall for Marshall Clark. It falls incomplete. This is our final game of the regular season here on the Friday Night Network. But hey, you know what's up next. That's high school basketball, and we have all the coverage for you. Of course, high school football getting underway in just a couple of weeks for many teams, and FNN will be the place to go for all high school basketball action. Of course, Talladega will be in action November 17th. They'll get their season underway against Benjamin Russell, as will many teams throughout the area. Pass batted down. Reeves' pass intended here on the near side was knocked down by Talladega defensively. They're putting a paw up for the Tigers to bat that ball away on third down, which will bring up a fourth down punting time for the Lions.
And there you see Coach Smith here in a punting situation check in some of these younger guys. You can tell how, they're a little bit smaller than everyone else, but I love seeing that when a coach will just go ahead and let these guys get experience. I mean, this game's out of hand, it seems as though, for Talladega, but Coach Smith wanting some of these guys to get some real action in high school football. Some of these guys may have never even, hardly seen the field this year.
There's a short punt, and will roll dead at the 37. First down for the Tigers there at the 37-yard line. You saw it on the screen just a moment ago. Upcoming is the Talladega County Basketball Media Day. You will be able to see that right here on FNN. Some guy named Jeff will be hosting that one for you. That's going to be Veterans Day, as a matter of fact, on November 11th from 1 till 5 p.m., and that'll get you update and kind of a preview as far as high school basketball is concerned on both the boys and girls side. Again, that's a 1 o'clock start, and that will be from Winterboro High School, the first annual Talladega County High School Basketball Media Day. First down from the 37-yard line for the Tigers, down by 35. Got wideouts, 2 to the near side, 2 to the top of your screen as the fog continues to roll in here. Duncan's pass, quick one over there on the far side, is complete. but it will be a loss of yardage on the completed pass to Damias Beavers at the 36. They take Beavers down for a loss of 1.
It's going to be number 13, Tranis Patterson, senior cornerback for the Munford Lions. Great open field tackle. As we see, we have a Tiger still down on the field.
We have a stoppage in play due to an injury. And continuing with our discussion of high school basketball, now on FNN, our first high school basketball game of the year. Not too far away. It's November 20th, and we will be at Faith Christian, as Faith Christian will be hosting Coach Chris Randall and the White Plains Wildcats. And again, that's White Plains and Faith, November 20th here on FNN to get our high school basketball coverage underway. Second down and 11 from the 36-yard line for Talladega. Third quarter action from Lions Stadium. Again, Munford up by 35. Next week, the Lions will be playing the team from Bruton, Alabama, in round 1 of the state high school football playoffs. Second down and 11. Duncan's pass is complete. Short gain, however, of maybe 5 yards, 6 yards on the play up to the 42. It will be a third down now. Third down and 5 for Talladega at the 42-yard line.
And a nice catch by Dylan Bradford, the sophomore wide receiver for the Talladega Tigers, as he reaches up there and snags that football. And about a 5-6 yard gain for the Talladega offense. And I believe this is the best they've moved the football all night as they begin their opening drive, or their first drive, here in the second half.
Yeah, I was going to say Talladega has not penetrated Munford's side of the 50 all night. The entire game, it seems, has been played in Tigerland. This is Duncan, and they have now, as Duncan will take it all the way to the 49-yard line of the Lions, and that's a chain mover. They'll advance the chains, and the Tigers with their second first down of the ball game.
I have to check the stats on this, but no matter who you're playing, to me it's impressive when you know, Coach Smith talked about he believed they'd only given up 1 first down in the first half. That's impressive to me. You know, your defense comes out and can do that in a whole half of football. That's going to add up as you move into the postseason. That kind of shows you how good this team is. And with their record, if you'll look at their region, as we talked about earlier, very tough region they've come out of. So their record might fool some people once they move into postseason play.
First and 10 at the Lion 49. 5 minutes to go here and the third frame. Duncan to throw, Duncan to run. Duncan's in the open field at the 40, 35 at the 33. That's a pickup of 16 yards on the play there to make the tackle. That was Kedrick Henley Brown for the Lions, but a 16-yard pickup and another first down for the Tigers.
It looks as though Coach Herring and this Talladega Tigers offense, they are fine with just continuing to run Ashton Duncan. As we see the sophomore, he's got a nice burst of speed once he gets up into open space. And you'd like to see some of that earlier from him tonight, as he had some lane just right at the middle between the guard and the center earlier in the football game.
Yeah, and he's just a sophomore, Cody, so you expect him, you know, to grow a little. I mean, in the next year or so, or two. And Duncan will run it again, and Duncan this time has 2. And that's all to Corey Russell in on the pile defensively. It will be second down and 8. Let's go back to the field and let's join Caroline.
Y'all were talking earlier about these young Munford players getting some experience playing tonight, and that is very true of number 80, Xavier Britt, who had his first high school start tonight. And, guys, he is only in the 8th grade. That is valuable experience, especially since he hasn't even started high school yet. Jeff, back to you.
Thanks, Caroline. Only an 8th grader and playing varsity football. Now, that's impressive, Cody.
And that's huge when you know you have a special player, or either one that's worked very hard all season for a junior high team, when he comes up for varsity and he gets a start.
Second down and 8 at the 33. Duncan's pass is complete. Penalty marker down. They may bring this one back, and they will. That's an illegal motion call against the Tigers, as I think the running back may have moved just a bit early, and he did. So the Tigers will be penalized 5.
to kind of go back to talking about the season for F&N, great job by Caroline this year, going down there and getting us some good information, injury information, some of the things from the coaches. So she's doing a great job so far this year. I know I came in a little late in the year, but she's done a great job since I've been working with her.
And bless her heart, she missed last week. She was sick, so no one enjoys sickness. Of course, I'm sick mentally, but that's a different story. Second down and 13 from the 37-yard line for Talladega. 3.5 minutes to go here in the third quarter. I formation on this second down call at the 37. Ashton with time to throw, does throw. Pass intended for his wideout down near the 10-yard line, Adrian Swain, number 1, and he kind of looked back for it a little too late that time.
Well, if you're Coach Herring, you just take Adrian aside the next time he's on the sideline. Tell him, when you're running your route, you've got to turn. Once you make your break, turn and watch the quarterback. He took his eyes off the quarterback and started looking at the defensive back. I believe he looked down the safety. You can't worry about that. You've got to run through your route and look at the quarterback and catch that football. He just took his eyes off of it.
Third down, 13 for the Tigers. This their deepest penetration of the game as they scrimmage from near the 36 of Munford. They'll run the fullback inside, but not very far. And the ball carrier, you see him, big number 32. That's Cortavian Gooden. And Gooden takes it to the 35. And from there, it will be fourth down and 10 for the Tigers.
And if you're Coach Herring, you imagine you go for this. I mean, there's no reason that you would hold back here. You're in Munford territory. First time you've done this all night. It's a 4th and long situation. Try to get this first down and put some points on the board.
Of course, Robert Herring, part of that famous Herring family when it comes to high school football coaches in this area. His brother Ryan, of course, is head coach for the Oxford Yellow Jackets, and his dad, Robert, so much success and a number of state championships there for the Yellow Jacket program. On the fourth down pass, it falls incomplete, so the ball goes back to Munford as Talladega comes up empty on that possession as they're unable to convert on fourth down. First down now for the Lions near the 35-yard line with just 2:23 to go here in the third quarter. Munford led at halftime 35-0, and they continue to hold that 35-point lead. Patterson
almost had himself an interception for a second, as it looked like it almost shocked him that it hit him directly in the hands. And Munford takes over on about the 34-yard line to begin this drive. And when you're playing everyone that put on a jersey here tonight, you sometimes have some mix-ups as far as getting the proper 11 in there. And now there's a low snap from center, and Talladega has the football. The low snap from center, and it's recovered by Talladega, and the Tigers now inside the red zone as a result of that turnover down near the 18. The center, number 70, Jakari Robinson, the junior, he checks in late and just a bad snap. And it rolls back about 15 yards into the backfield, maybe a little bit less than that. And Talladega falls on top of it, and they have a huge turnover. For them, they at least want to put some points on the board tonight, Jeff. It's got to be a bit frustrating so far. Yes, they do, and that was Jalen Russ in to recover that loose ball for the Tigers and give them the scoring opportunity inside the 20. Again, out of the I formation. They'll run the toss, and they give it right back to the Lions. They ran the toss to the near side, and that toss was one that hit the turf, and we just exchanged turnovers here, and it goes right back to the Lions. Savion Hill, the senior for Munford, with a number 6 with a fumble recovery, and that was just an odd 2 plays there. We see that back and forth. It's like the other one wanted to see who could have the best fumble maybe, but there you see it as Munford recovers a fumble. The ball now at the 27, first down for the Lions. Reeves' pass over here, it's incomplete. That pass, I think, was intended for Marshall Clark, but instead of looking for the pass, Clark was looking upfield to block.
second down and 10.
And Clark never even looked over, Jeff, as you said. He just gets upfield and engages a corner to try to get a block up the field, and just miscommunication, as you say. You know, we talked about some of the younger guys in, quite possibly your backup quarterback in right now, so just some miscommunication between those guys.
Reeves to run the football, but down he goes, and Twyman again there to make the tackle for Talladega. Jaquan Skills also in on the stop, as well as Justin Shields. Third down now and long for Munford inside their own 30-yard line.
And Coach Darrell LeBeau, offensive coordinator from Munford, just calling a lot of plays to keep this clock moving, being very respectful of this Talladega team and not wanting to just drive the score up really high.
Third down, Reeves is sacked in the backfield. Down he goes back at the 21-yard line. Coming in from the blind side, that is J.Q. Wilson with the sack, and fourth down now for the Lions.
You know, even earlier in this game, the left side of the offensive line kind of was the weakness in the passing game, as there was a lot of times the pressure that was given to Avery Harris came from the left side. So that's just something they got to work on, and that could be some backups in the game right there. But nonetheless, the left side needs a little bit work when it comes to the passing game.
Final minute of the third quarter. Munford in punt formation on this fourth down and 14. The snap and the kick. Lands at midfield. Inside the 40 and down at the 35-yard line. And from there, it will be Talladega taking over possession of the football. First down at their own 35. And we have 35 seconds to go here in the third quarter, as the Tigers come out still looking for their first points of the football game.
Talladega getting the ball on their own 35. It's just been a tough night for them. Their defense started out this game playing very well, but the offense just couldn't help them out. Just one of the things you got to work on, in my opinion, just coming from a spectator. It's just the thing in the offseason, try to find some identity. I know I've only seen them play this one game, but you got to think that if they had an offensive identity, they would use it tonight. They've mixed up a lot of things, and that may be Coach Herring's style. He may like to do multiple things on offense, but a lot of it hasn't worked so far here tonight.
First down at the 35. Trips to the bottom of your screen. As Duncan looks them over. Duncan will call his own number and pick up a yard to the 36. Second down and 9. There defensively is Peyton Graben for Munford. It's second down and 9, Talladega at the 36-yard line, and that is the final play of the third quarter. So 3 in the books, fourth quarter upcoming. It's all Munford. They're on top by 35 on the Friday Night Network.
When you wanted fast, when you needed speed, we've always been the one. Well, now, the fastest just got faster. Introducing Ultra 100 Internet from Cable One. Experience speeds up to 100 megs. Welcome to Ultra 100 Internet.
Cable One, the fastest just got faster.
At Food Outlet, our lineup starts with the freshest produce in town.
When you shop with us, you score every day with the freshest meat and the best selection.
Pre-game, halftime, even after the game, we have all the snacks and soft drinks that you need.
We're your hometown team. And you'll always score a touchdown at Food Outlet, where great service at low prices is how we do business.
Food Outlet, with locations in Alexandria, Anniston, Bynum, and Pell City. Go to shopfoodoutlet.com for weekly specials. And remember to like us on Facebook.
And welcome back. It's a foggy night no more at Munford. There you see the big moon. Do we see a witch on her broom flying past the moon? Do we see that?
That's what I've been looking for so far tonight. I've been looking for that, Jeff.
Yeah, but not yet. Second down and 9 for Talladega. at their own 36-yard line as we begin play here in the fourth quarter. It's the game of the week right here on the Friday Night Network, our last game of the year. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage of high school football throughout the season. So many big games, so many close games that just went right down to the wire. Unfortunately, this is not one of them. Incomplete pass, third down now and 9 at the 36 for the Tigers.
And Jeff, one thing I like seeing right now, Coach Bill Smith is on the sideline with some of these younger guys. He's getting in there, and you can tell that he is still coaching these guys. He wants them to get build off of their the miscues and learn from their opportunities that they're getting and some of the negative plays that they've got. You can see him back here just talking with his assistant coaches and some of these backups. He wants to continue to coach and get these young guys better because he knows that is the future of Munford football.
Third down and 9 for the Tigers. Duncan to throw again. Got a receiver out there. This pass is caught down at the 40-yard line. They convert on third down as Jaquan Scales goes high into the air to bring that one in, and that will advance the chains for the Tigers.
Nice pass and catch there by Shells, and here you see Ashton drop back. And he delivers a pass to Jaquan Scales for a big gain and a first down for this Talladega offense, trying to mount a drive here.
It's their biggest play thus far offensively for the Tigers. The play nets 24 yards. First and 10 at the 40. Again, 3 receivers bottom of your screen. You see the 2 to the top. Duncan to throw on first down and it's incomplete. His intended receiver there near the 30-yard line. You made an interesting point a moment ago, Cody, talking about Coach Bill Smith of Munford, and he's still coaching down there and coaching his young players. And this is, when you have a ball game like this where you're playing everybody, a coach is not just coaching right now, he's also teaching.
You're right. And, that's one thing in practice to have your starters go against some of these younger guys and work on game plan for Friday night. It's another thing once you've got them actually out there, they're playing against guys for Talladega, getting that high school experience, and that's where you take those teaching moments for them, and you can take, instead of teaching them what the starters might have done wrong in the game, you can actually get hands-on with them, and they know what they've done and where they messed up, and you can help teach them, what they need to do to get better going into the postseason and then going into next year for opportunity to start.
Timeout on the field taken by Talladega. 7:20 to go in the football game. 35-0 Munford on the Friday Night Network.
Every day is a great day to stop in a Samco Express Mart. You'll find plenty of snacks to choose from, and Samco has all your favorite drink brands, all nice and cold. You'll find those last-minute light grocery items you need, and a great variety of grab-and-go brands that's sure to cure any case of the munchies. There's lots of candy, mints, and gum, too. Make sure you fuel up before or after the game. With over 30 locations in the area, there's always one close by. Samco Express Mart.
Have you got the new car itch but don't want to take the plunge with a brand new car? How about getting the most car for the money at Avery Auto Sales? They have a large selection of cars with even some 2014s in the mix. And if you're worried about your credit, don't. They can help get you back on your credit feet with guaranteed approval. Check them out online at AveryAutoSales.net. Then when you see something you like, call them at 256-835-8897 for a test drive. Or just go by. Avery Auto Sales is located on Highway 78 East between Highway 78 and Snow Street in Oxford. That's Avery Auto Sales.
Second down and 10 for Talladega. And on the second down call, Duncan fights his way back to the line of scrimmage for no gain. Third down and 10 now for Talladega here in the fourth quarter. Munford on top. They led at halftime 35-0. That score has not changed. Here in the year 2015, we debuted the FNN2. And again, just like FNN, it was a great year for FNN2, and we'd like to thank Aaron Daniel and Blake Gardner who provided you the play-by-play and the color for every one of those games. As a matter of fact, one of the best games of the year across the state of Alabama you witnessed on FNN2, and it involved this Munford team. Who will ever forget Munford and Hanley that was played right here at Lions Stadium about 5 weeks ago? You talk about a shootout, and we had that game for you right here. Or rather on FNN2 with Aaron and Blake, and just so many exciting games on both of our networks, and we hope you enjoyed all of our coverage. 4th down now and 10 at the 40-yard line of Munford, and Talladega will, well, I would expect them, Cody, to go for it here. I mean, you know, we talked about why not. I mean, it's the last game of the year, and let's just see what we can do and not necessarily go by the books each time, and they're going for it right here. 4th down and 10. They need the 30-yard line. Duncan's pass is incomplete, and it will go back to Munford. 1st and 10.
And here with about 6 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter, Munford's defense comes up with a stop and turnover on downs, and Munford's offense will come back out here. And now you see I think there's only a couple of starters remaining on the offensive line for Munford. And now a lot of these younger guys have checked in at the skill positions as well. A lot of fresh jerseys out here now. And Reeves, number 10, that usually is your tight end, a sophomore, he's checked in back in at quarterback.
1st and 10 for Munford. Just things winding down here in the football game, and running the football to the near side, and this will be a big pickup on the play all the way down to the 30-yard line. Carson Smith, the 40-yard line, that is, the ball carrier for the first time tonight. And you know, Cody, we got a lot of teams in this area that will be playing next week in round 1 of the playoffs, and I'm not putting you on the spot here. Of course, that's from Class 1A all the way up to the big one, the 7A. And who do you like from this area that you maybe expect could advance far into and deep into the playoffs?
If we're talking just around this area, I really like the teams out of this region in Class 4A. That's going to be Class 4A Region 3. Leeds is a team that I don't think they're getting enough respect as to how the season started off. They're a very talented football team. This Munford team has the opportunity to do some great things in the postseason. I really like it. There's a team that's kind of flown under the radar this year, a very talented Priceville team. I know they got upset last week. They're out of Class 4A Region 7. Priceville, very powerful offense, have one of the best quarterbacks, in my opinion, and yes, I'm saying it, one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Had an ACL tear last year, and the kid has put up some dynamic numbers in Class 4A. His first offer came 2 weeks ago from Troy, so he was a little behind in the recruiting, but he's on track to get over, I believe it was over 50 touchdowns just in the regular season on the ground and passing. He's only thrown a couple of interceptions this year, so look for them to be a team. Sachs, I believe, is another team. After not winning their region, they dropped, of course, in the rankings. And Cleveland County, that's another team. They had a very impressive showing against a very good Sachs team. I really like Piedmont going into the playoffs. Yeah, I'm a Piedmont guy, but you know how Coach Smith does it. He's built up a nice program up there in Calhoun County.
Munford on the move here as they take the football down inside the 10-yard line. Yeah, the ball popped loose. I think they may have seen his knee hit the ground. Or no, they're going to give it to Talladega, apparently. Well, yes, Talladega football, as that ball was on the turf as Xavier Britt had a big gain, but lost the football, and Talladega recovers it. And there we'll take a look at it again as he just cut back across field and only had one man to beat right there. And not only did he lose the football, well, he was eyeing the end zone, but still turnover. Munford gives it back to the Tigers.
I'll tell you another team we talked about earlier, starting in Class 1A, Wadley. I believe they're a team. They're ranked number 7 in Class 1A right now, I believe. A very talented team. I think they will make some noise in the playoffs. Cedar Bluff ranked number 2 right now. We'll see how that shakes out for them once they get into the playoffs. Decatur Heritage, they're in a very good region. They've had some big wins this year. That's a team that can make some noise. As there we see the quarterback drop back.
Yeah, Duncan with a completed pass here on the near side. This will go for about 10 yards on the play. Up near the first down.
And a team, I believe, that's kind of left everyone's minds, and I'm not for sure why, is in Class 2A 5. That's a team, Coach Benefield defending state champs. I don't have to tell you anything. They're a consistent team year in and year out. But it's going to be very tough for a team to beat Tanner in Class 2A. They are, to me, they're one of the best teams in Class 2A.
And let's not forget Randolph County.
Oh, no doubt about it. Randolph County, a team that a lot of people consider right there at the top tier of Class 2A and one of the best teams in the state of Alabama this year in Class 2A.
The Tigers get a first down on the previous play, and on this play they get about 5 more up near the 25-yard line to bring up second down and 5 yards to go. Zachorian Lynch made the tackle for the Lions.
I think 2 teams out of Region 6 there in Class 3A, Piedmont and Glencoe. Those are 2 teams. We've come to know how good those teams are. I think Coach Osment and Glencoe have had a good year, of course, but I believe they'll do well in the postseason play. Coming out of that Region 8, tough Region 8, the state champion might come out of Class 3A Region 8. That's Madison Academy, Lauderdale County, Colbert County, and Lexington. The top 3 teams in that region, Madison Academy, Lauderdale County, and Colbert County, are 3 of the best teams in the state. They just happen to be in one of the toughest regions in the state. If you go back and look at all the region records through all 8 teams, that's one of the toughest regions in the state through all 7 classifications, and could potentially be the, depending on your opinion, could be the toughest region in Class 3A.
Cortavian Gooden takes it for 6 yards. First down for the Tigers. Now at the 31-yard line. Just 3 minutes to go in this one. And again, it's a football game that Munford has been in control of since early on. Now Duncan will be forced out of bounds and loses about 3 back to the 27-yard line. There for Munford was Jalen Peters. Second down and 13. 2:40 and counting. Some of the crowd already made their way to the exits on this weeknight. Of course, it's a work day for a lot of folks tomorrow, and they feel like the Lions have this one well in hand and will pick up their 7th win of the year and finish off the regular season at 7-3. And a good season here for Munford as they look to postseason play. And now Talladega fumbles the ball, and it's recovered by Munford, and the ball goes back to the Lions with a 1st and 10. It's Matthew Martin, I think, that fell on that loose ball for the Lions.
And kind of going back to Munford's playoff picture, first round they have W.S. Neal. If they were to win that football game, it looks as though they will have the winner of Strawn versus Bibb County. Strawn at Bibb County first round. And then moving on from there, if Munford were to advance to the 3rd round, they're going to face Dadeville and Thomasville first round, and West Blockton versus Andalusia first round. And they're going to have one of those 4 teams if they move on to the 3rd round of the playoffs.
Timeout on the field taken by Munford. We will take a break with them and be back on the Friday Night Network.
At Farmers, we make you smarter about insurance because what you don't know can hurt you. What if you didn't know that it's smart to replace washing machine hoses every 5 years? What if you didn't know that you might need extra coverage for more expensive items? And what if you didn't know that teen drivers are 4 times more likely to get into an accident? So, the more you know, the better you can plan for what's ahead. Talk to Farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
They don't. It's not true. You cannot be in business and sell your product and not make any profit and stay in business. For that matter, if you did that, how could you take care of your customers in the long run if you never made any profit? We make profit, but the difference is we're fair with our customers. We don't mislead them, we don't misguide them. So come on down to the sunny side of the street and ask for me, Shane Denny. It's where a handshake still matters.
And welcome back to Lions Stadium. It's now first down for the Lions. They've run one offensive play down to the 11-yard line now and looking for some more points here as they run the football inside and getting about 3 yards down to the 8-yard line. That will bring up a 2nd down and 7 for the 8 from the 8 for Munford. 2 minutes to go in the football game. Tigers will end the season at 2-7. Now, the last playoff team for Talladega, you've got to go back 2 decades, back to 1995, the last time that a Tiger team has participated in the state football playoffs. And that team was coached by Wayne Grant. No gain on second down. It will be third down now at the 8-yard line.
Jeff, kind of going back to Class 4A, what about the job Coach Andrew Zhao has done at Montevallo?
Yeah.
I mean, talk about taking a program that's down in the dumps. I mean, that program had gone to a very bad place, and Coach Zhao taking them, they're the number 2 seed in Class 4A Region 4, and he has done a great job there at Montevallo. Got to give a kind of a hand clap to him for the job that he's done so far here in 2015. believe he's in his, 3rd or 4th year there.
I think so, yeah.
At Montevallo.
Yeah, Carson Smith gets the call on third down, and he stopped down near the 8-yard line. And under 50 seconds to go, Munford now 4th down at the 8. Reeves to throw into the end zone. This pass is incomplete, and it will go back to Talladega. So we will have a scoreless second half in this football game as Munford led 35-0 at the half, and most of the offensive plays for Munford here in the second half were on the ground and just eating up the clock and getting out of here with their 7th win of the year in front of the home folks. And look ahead to next week in game number 11. It's just a win, you advance, lose, and you air up the basketballs. Of course, we wish the best of luck for the Munford Lions as they do go into postseason play next week. And Coach Bill Smith, and what a job he's done, Cody. His first year coming over from Shades Valley and goes 7-3 and number 2 in the region behind the defending state champion.
Coach Wagner goes to Hazel Green up in far north Alabama, and Coach Bill Smith steps in here, doing a great job continuing on what has been built here at Munford, and look forward to a bright future for Coach Smith and these Munford Lions as he takes his program over, as you said, in his first year.
Maybe one more play, and that's all that will be necessary. The clock is at 10 seconds, and looks as though the Tigers will try to get one more play off before the 2015 season draws to a close. And here it is, the final play of the year for the Tigers. They run the sweep and they get 4 yards. And that is how this football game will end as the Munford Lions win their 7th game of the year, defeating Talladega here this evening. The final count 35-0. Post-game activities are coming up on the Friday Night Network.
Since 1848, our bank has witnessed inventions that have changed the world. Conveniences such as the refrigerator, the light bulb, and the airplane were all created during the early days of our bank. VHS tapes, DVDs, smartphones, all invented while we were First National Bank of Talladega. Our name may have changed, but we have a rich history. First Bank of Alabama. We're still first, and so are you.
Oops, had a fender bender? Have them tow it or take it yourself to Wesley's Paint and Body. Baker Reynolds and his guys have been this area's go-to team for quality automotive body repair and paint work for years. All makes and models, foreign or domestic. They take them crashed and make them look like new. And with Wesley's larger new facility, including 2 full-size paint booths, they can get you fixed up fast. Always free estimates, best price on repair work, insurance claims welcomed, and service with a smile. That's Wesley's Paint and Body, Highway 78 East in Anniston.
People come from everywhere to get their deal from Bill Stanford. They come from Ashland, Brompton, Lineville. They come from Moody, Munford, Coldwater, Birmingham, Talladega, Lincoln, Riverside, Heflin. There's no better deal than a Talladega Bill deal.
Right now, all GMC Sierras are at or below supplier price. Save over $2,900 on this 2015 GMC Sierra at Bill Stanford.
Come on out to Bill Stanford in Talladega.
In a world that's ever-changing, you have to be sure that your choices are the right choices. At Central Alabama Community College, you'll know you made the best choice. We understand that you need the best educational opportunities. Whether choosing a technical degree program, taking courses to transfer to a four-year college or university, or being a part of our national championship winning traditions, Central Alabama will provide you with courses and degree programs in tune with today's workplace. Get a sharper focus on your life by choosing one of our 3 convenient locations: Alex City, Childersburg, and Talladega. Central Alabama Community College. Central to you. Central to your success.
It's a great night to be a Munford Lion fan, defeating the Tigers here this evening 35-0. We'll go back down to the field and join Caroline, who's caught up with a couple of Munford Lion players, Austin Stevens and Avery Harris.
Austin, it was senior night tonight. I heard you coughing a little bit. You seem to be battling a cold. But other than that, 35 shutout victory. How do y'all feel y'all played tonight?
I feel we did pretty good. We got a couple things we still got to work on. And I hope I got to get to feeling a little better.
Playoffs next week. How have y'all been preparing?
Well, I mean, it's not just a regular game because, I mean, it's the first round of the playoffs. You know, we played them last year, so, I mean, they're a pretty good team. We'll be ready for them.
Okay, first round of playoffs at home. What are you most looking forward to?
Probably the atmosphere. You know, first round of playoffs at home. Ain't nothing better than that.
Doing a little celebration dance for us, Avery?
Yeah.
Okay, so I talked to Coach Smith earlier, and he said that Talladega was really loading up the box tonight, making it difficult for y'all to run, which, you know, you were trying to practice in tonight's game leading up to playoffs. But other than that, how do you feel that this team has prepared, and how do y'all feel like, you know, how are y'all going to do going into next week?
We prepared great. We had a excuse me. We had a good off week of practice. Coming in off a race weekend, you know, we didn't get a lot of reps in, but felt like we did good at practice. We're very focused. Our offense was very focused. Our defense was very focused. Special teams too. You know, just got to give a shout out to the O-line and D-line. That's what won us games, especially the O-line because my running back Charles. You know, it's just a great team, great staff, and I love it.
Okay, first round of playoffs, obviously the quarterback, you have a little more pressure on you. So how are you going to help this team win the first game?
You know, just stay focused. Stay focused every practice. Get a lot of reps in, as I said. You know, we faced WSNL here at home, first round of playoffs last year, so, you know, I'm just stay focused.
Thank you. Congratulations on tonight's victory, and good luck next week in the first round of playoffs. Jeff, back to you.
Thanks very much, Caroline. Again, Munford wins it tonight 35-0 over Talladega as they close out the 2015 regular season and look ahead to round 1 of the state high school football playoffs.
Tonight's FNN High School Football Game of the Week has been presented by Sonny King Ford and by Samco Express Marts. FNN High School Football is sponsored by Calhoun Insurance, Cycle World Power Sports, First Bank of Alabama, Food Outlet, and by Avery Auto Sales. Tonight's game has been brought to you by Anniston EMS, Wesley's Paint and Body, Cotton State Barns, K.L. Brown Memory Chapel, Glencoe Jewelry Sales, Cable One, and Skinner Body Shop. We'll wrap up tonight's game with highlights and more. Plus, look ahead to next week when we continue on FNN, the Friday Night Network.
Don't miss
miss the 3rd annual Niwala on Noble, starting at 10 a.m. on Saturday, October 31st in downtown Anniston. Bring the whole family for lots of fun, including carnival games in a kids zone, local arts and crafts, train rides, a costume contest at 2:30, and so much more. You don't want to miss the double elimination cornhole contest starting at 11 with cash prizes. There will be live music, demonstrations, and a beer garden. Come join in on all the fun. Admission is free. Niwala on Noble, another fun, safe downtown event for the entire family from Main Street, Anniston.
Oh, hey, you got one of those insurance apps too? You know how this thing works?
No, sorry. Not an app, it's my agent.
In this moment,
No, I'm fine, thanks.
it's good to know you have a trusted, independent auto owner's insurance agent who's there when you need them.
Great. Man, I gotta get one of those.
Auto Owners Insurance, the no problem people.
Calhoun Insurance in Oxford is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
Every day is a great day to stop in a Samco Express Mart. You'll find plenty of snacks to choose from, and Samco has all your favorite drink brands, all nice and cold. You'll find those last-minute light grocery items you need, and a great variety of grab-and-go brands that's sure to cure any case of the munchies. There's lots of candy, mints, and gum, too. Make sure you fuel up before or after the game. With over 30 locations in the area, there's always one close by. Samco Express Mart.
$35-0 the final score as you look at some of the highlights from this evening's game as the Munford Lions win their 7th game of the year. And, you know, Cody, it's been a great year as far as FNN's coverage of high school football.
It really has. And as I said, I came in a little late, started out at that Piedmont versus Glencoe game. It's been a fun ride all the way to the final week of this 2015 regular season in high school football in the state of Alabama. It's only going to get better from here. I hope everyone still continues to support high school football the rest of the way. And everyone, some of the schools that didn't make it, get pumped for high school basketball because it's just right around the corner.
Yeah, we got so many people to thank. I mean, from the principals of all the schools that allowed us to come into their facilities and bring you high school football, the athletic directors, all the coaches that helped us out so much, the FNN crew. I mean, my goodness, our camera staff that had to work in the rain and just all the conditions that we had as far as weather, the guys were there, and just the entire FNN staff. And obviously, we thank our sponsors, our many, many sponsors that stuck with us throughout the year. Thanks to all those as well. It's been a great year. And once again, thank you for joining us throughout the season for FNN's coverage of high school football. And once again, tonight, Munford wins it 35-0. Thanks for joining us not only tonight, but throughout the year. And for Cody Spoon, Caroline Saunders, and the entire FNN staff, I'm Jeff Ellison. Good night from Munford, Alabama.